Welcome.
Welcome back.
Welcome to your secret hideout. Welcome to your place, your home away from home. That's why I'm not an announcer. Welcome back to the Suburban Trap House. My name's Calvin.
And I'm Madden.
That's Madden. And I've already seen it.
Yep.
It'll probably go. I don't know how the videos will be arranged, but they'll both come out. My solo video will be coming out, and this will be coming out probably on today. I don't know. Probably today. We're late.
Okay.
James Gunn, after he put out the teaser, put out the trailer, which came out yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, which came out yesterday. So we're gonna watch it today, a day late, even though I've already seen it.
Yeah.
Thoughts so far before we click play?
I feel like I got most of my thoughts out
Yeah, I was about
about
to say.
Superman and the last thing,
gonna say.
so
I don't think I said a lot in my solo video. So
Yeah.
it'll be, I might
Yeah.
have some more thoughts. Who
we'll
knows?
see. We'll see.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah,
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for
I
what
know,
some
it's a
might.
lot of
it's
fire,
it's a
but-
lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said
Somebody-
he was going to look into your actions.
Somebody thinks they went back and took out him flinching when he gets hit by that can. Because it's been shown so many times that people are like dissecting that one scene to be like, Superman doesn't flinch when he gets hit by something.
That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States will
representing
cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
I'm sorry, I remember the things I remember some of the stuff I said.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Your choices,
I think that dog's pure CGI.
your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Is he blind? I'm not gonna
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
You have a dog?
Okay. So do you want to go first or?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So the thing that will sway my opinion on this entirely,
Mm-hmm.
thing that will change it from being a movie that I don't like to a movie that I do like, is if they stick with the fact that Superman, like they stick with the Lois Lane thing they're doing, where Superman is getting hard questions from Lois Lane consistently, and she's asking as like a somebody who's going against him.
Mm-hmm.
and that's somebody who's like doing that. She's asking like what a majority of the people would be asking, and what a majority of governments and stuff would be asking at the same time. If they stick with that, if they keep that argument throughout the entire film, and that is like the main plot point, then I'll be in love with this movie. Mainly because I really, 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 really want an Injustice movie.
Do we know what who the main villain is? I mean,
I think it's Lex Luthor. And he's going to bring in a bunch of bad guys.
part of me was hoping it wasn't Lex Luthor, that he is a setup that they're doing.
It could be.
For a
They're showing a
later
lot
thing.
of him.
They are, which is why I'm thinking he's probably going to be the main villain, because they haven't shown anyone who I'm like, you're definitely this
They did that with
character
Brave New
and
World,
the main
though.
villain. Yes, true.
So, but that that villain was worse than the one they showed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But yeah, I will say I did like the look of the buildings falling down.
onto the bridge
Is that maybe?
when she's talking about him being an illegal alien.
This one, yeah, right here.
Yeah.
This shot, I like this shot right here. This was a clean shot. I saw that and I was like, okay, this is at least going to be a very visually appealing movie when it comes to the destruction of the city,
Around the
which I appreciate. I'm curious how that starts, how that domino effect starts.
It's got to be the kaiju.
It's got to be the kaiju, but
But that makes me feel like
okay,
this kaiju
or-
fight's going to happen so early.
Or it's this. This beam here
myself in the same situation.
hits a structural thing
What
that
if this
causes
is
it to collapse and just start toppling over. Hang on. Let's see. Wait, back up.
I don't know.
I'm trying to look in the glass. I'm trying to see the reflection, see if we can see. Because if that's the case, then we should see the other buildings through the glass that it would fall onto. So I'm trying to see, like, do we see those buildings? Is this it? Is this that middle building that we see falling?
Hold on, let me go all the way back. Oh wait, go back to the
Yeah.
to the- I think it's forward.
Is it?
I really
No,
didn't
no,
like the hey pal eyes up here.
Yeah.
I didn't like that part.
Yeah.
Especially
I did.
because it's either they wanted him to look like that, but it looks like he's like suspended.
Yeah.
Like his arms are like this. And he
Except
can't
for
go
me.
over 'em.
This kind of looks like
It definitely could be.
that building on the right. Because with the rubble, it looks darker, but it looks like it has that rounder shape that not many buildings here actually look
Definitely
to
could
have.
be.
So, I think that might be.
Myself.
What
Are
the
you
same
a bigger
Yes.
fan of the suit now?
that kind of looks like this.
Have you seen a little bit more of it?
I'm getting used to it. I feel like the suit's a acquired taste type thing.
It-
Where
It is a little bit.
the more you see it, the better you feel about it.
Superman suit? I wasn't talking about Superman suit. I was talking about the
this suit?
that.
This suit?
I was talking about that. I don't give two about Superman suit. I can't. Recently with these specifically with Ironheart and Superman, my reactions have been dull. They're giving us the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just more of the same thing. Ironheart, I just didn't care at all.
Yeah, I'm not interested in Ironheart enough to react to anything involving that.
Yeah. Actually,
Who was it that they were supposed to bring in through Ironheart?
through Ironheart,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Hood, who is Anthony Ramos, who plays, I don't remember his name, but in Rise of the Beasts, he's supposed to be our Sam.
Oh, the main character.
Yeah.
I
I only remember Toby
The Hood.
Nwigwe because he's a rapper that I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So I forget the character's name, but the actor's name is Anthony Ramos. He's playing the Hood in Ironheart, And I'm
Yeah.
standing by what I said in my reaction video. I've never seen anything besides a musical or... No, I haven't seen anything where he's not singing or dancing besides A Star is Born, which he's not in for a very long time, where he's a good actor. And I blame it mainly on the scripts he gets, but... Because he's a good actor. It's not like he's a bad actor, but, I mean, he's not an actor who can push the bad script farther.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. So, yeah. I'll show you a scene of... The scene that made me turn off the trailer, I'll show you that after this.
Okay.
But, yeah, this right here... they played me. This right here, it's like... You see, he's like stiff.
Yeah, and who's he talking to?
Can't be Kaiju.
No, he's too low.
You think they would bring Zod in? That's going to be our big bad?
I actually feel like... Forgive me if I say the wrong acronym here. That's a Marvel acronym. Hang on. I need to think of the DC version of this group that I'm thinking of.
Were you thinking AIM?
Yeah, I was.
I think it's the Hive, right?
Hive something else. There's a different group that I'm thinking of that's like pretty much fully robotic.
Oh.
'Cause
you're not thinking of the Foot Clan, right? That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No.
Okay, because that's fully robotic.
No, but they're because I'm thinking.
Or are they Lex Luthor's guys? Also, the
It
joke
could be
about
Lex
him
Luthor's
having a dog, Lois Lane making a joke about him having a dog. I don't know why that's shocking.
Yeah.
That he's lived on Earth
weird.
his entire life and he has a dog.
Yeah. Is this supposed to be Hawk Girl?
Yes.
Okay. Based off of that one shot, I think that's the only thing we've seen of them, right?
No.
Or at least from this trailer.
This trailer?
Yeah.
No, there's a scene of her flying and it's just her face.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. I don't like any of the suits so far.
Yeah.
I don't like any of the suits. I think I said this in the other video. I think my favorite moment in the entire film is going to be Lois and him arguing.
Yeah, either that or genuinely the buildings collapsing here might be my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah. If the
Just
lead
because
up
visually
to it,
appealing.
yeah, if the lead up to it is good and the ending to it is good, then that'll also be one of my favorite scenes.
But
I remember I also said I think Superman's going to be the Tom Holland version, which means he's gonna get his ass beat a lot.
Yeah.
Which I mean that makes sense, a little bit of sense for Superman, but it means he won't be fighting back as much. Is all.
I'm looking for a specific scene, so
he won't be fighting back as much.
Okay,
and that's what I'm gonna have a problem.
Can you rewind it a couple frames?
The weird like star thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea what it is. It's a few things. That's one thing people have been pointing out, though.
Hang on.
Is that's like a...
Oh. We're both clicking the button. Yeah. Just... Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is.
Because this...
Also, is he flying? Because both of her feet are completely off the ground. There's no way that nigga's that tall. Both feet off the ground. Both feet off the ground, and I'm not seeing no visuals of flight.
Yeah.
Although they are flying in a scene and kissing at the same time.
They might be floating. I don't know. But
I'm not gonna lie. As you guys can see, we don't really care that much about this.
Yeah.
I don't know what your opinions are, but my opinions are dull.
Visually appealing.
It looks nice.
Visually appealing. I'll give it that. It is visually appealing. Don't really like the suits. Superman's is growing on me more and more the more I see it, but it's my least favorite Superman.
But think
suit.
about that. Most of the scenes we've seen with Superman in this could be entirely CGI.
True.
Because most of them are like fighting. The one where he's fighting the kaiju and they keep doing a bunch of close-ups on Superman, I don't like. 'Cause yeah.
Yeah. This makes me think whatever's going on is interdimensional.
For sure.
either Lex Luthor trying to open a portal somewhere, or there's gonna be a big bad like
Or
Doomsday or
Superman
something.
dies.
Could do a Superman dies and Lex Luthor makes Superboy in this,
Yeah.
and then have it like follow
I
Young
don't.
Justice
I'm not gonna lie, I
storyline.
don't know where they. Were,
I could see that actually. Loki,
What they're
I'd
thinking around
be
it.
actually kind of happy if they did that.
If Superman dies and they make a Superboy.
Kill off Superman, make Superboy, and do a Young Justice style.
No, don't ruin that TV show for me. Don't ruin it. Do not ruin Young Justice. If they go, hold on. If they go, and they ruin Young Justice, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad. Have you seen the show?
I've seen the show,
If
but
they ruin that, I'm gonna be so mad.
I don't think they'd ruin it. I feel like it would just be
If they change one character, if one character is race swapped, if one character is not in it, anything. If a character
Nah,
dies at the wrong time,
I
I'm gonna be mad.
disagree with that.
I'm gonna be mad.
I disagree with that because it's not supposed to be based off of Young Justice. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying have the Young Justice style.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
What do you mean
type
type
people.
style?
Like, for example, in Titans, you don't have Cyborg, even though he is a very common character to have in Titans, and I
Yeah.
don't really mind that he's not there. Nobody does actually.
that's 'cause
Everybody
the-
I've seen watch the show, nobody minds
That's
that
because
Cyborg
the
isn't
show.
there.
That's because the show is like decently good to what DC has been putting out,
Fair.
and they already did Justice League with Cyborg, and if they did another Cyborg, that was gonna flop.
Well, I mean, Doom Patrol has Cyborg too.
Didn't Doom Patrol flop?
I don't think so. I
It
think it
did.
got canceled at the same time Titans did.
Oh, I thought Doom Patrol
No.
flopped.
I mean, it wasn't as popular as Titans. I know that. So if you think Titans barely didn't flop, then yeah, Doom Patrol probably flopped. But I don't think it like
Oh, no, it got
actually
4
flop,
seasons.
flop.
It got 4 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Did
the
pretty good, yeah.
final it started a season or two after Titans.
Mm.
They essentially got introduced in Titans, and then Doom Patrol actually follows a different universe.
But
of
still,
that group of people.
so
they don't.
if they
so that
change,
universe didn't have Beast Boy, but they had Cyborg instead.
yeah.
That's the difference.
If
really.
they change
But yeah, like
too much,
if they change too much, yes,
specifically the characters,
I wouldn't mind because we have Red Hood, Nightwing, Tim Drake, and Batgirl
yeah,
guaranteed. I want to say Damian Wayne too, but I don't think he actually is confirmed or not for
I don't
the
think
Bat
so.
family. But
I need
and then we
Aqualad. I
also-
would need Aqualad. I would need Aqualad. If Aqualad is not in it, I
Nah.
would feel so offended.
I wouldn't really. I would care if they have Aquaman. If they have Aquaman, but not Aqualad, I care. If they don't have Aquaman, I don't really care. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's how I view that. Kid Flash. That's my. If you don't have him, you're fucking up.
Yeah, but I feel like
Wally
for
West.
I think
If you
for
have
Kid
Wally
Flash,
West,
I mean
you're-
for
we're
almost
good.
all of these characters, you need to introduce the person
Like,
that comes
essentially,
before them.
I think what Young Justice would be, or
Mhm.
how I would want this DCU to take that if they do that, would be Red Hood and Jason, or not Jason, sorry, same person. Red Hood and Tim. Probably not Dick because he's probably like 20, 25, 30 at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I would want obviously Superboy is like a must. 'Cause
Yeah.
always, and Kid Flash. Those four, they could add or remove.
It's a
pretty
kind of
much
sexist
anyone else.
lineup right there.
I'm not saying it has. I'm not saying that.
Hey,
I'm just saying
Hey.
those four have to be in it.
hey.
They can add or remove anyone else they want.
But
If
like
those
some
four
of the
are
best
in it, they're messing
characters,
up.
some of the best characters.
But okay, hang on. Would you rather them add a character and do it bad, or just not have the character at all? Because I would rather them just not have the character at all over fuck up that character
It
doing
depends.
it poorly.
It depends. That's why I'm saying they should either do it the right way or not do it at all, just completely, instead of like going in and picking and choosing.
But if they pick and choose and they're able to do it the right way because they picked and chose,
Yeah.
then I feel like that's valid. If they do it poorly,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'm going to put it this way. What will determine if I think they should actually do this or not
Mm.
will be whatever Bat family movie comes out.
Yeah.
If that turns out to do well or be good, I feel like that they do that, and that will increase my confidence in that turning well. But if both this and whatever Batman, because
I don't think there's another movie confirmed after this one yet.
there isn't, but
It's just
the
this
next
one now.
movie will have to be like they've already announced.
I don't know.
that they're planning to have the entire.
Wait, no.
Batman in
The
this.
next thing is Green Lantern. CW show.
Oh,
That's coming out.
is that canon in this?
I think it's supposed to
universe?
be. I think everything that's coming out for DC is supposed to be canon to the DCU. That's why they're putting it out the way they are.
Yeah. No.
I really don't think they're going to do any Batman story that's connected to Superman directly. Like, I think it's just going to be the Bat family. I don't even think they're going to do a solo Batman film or anything.
I don't think so either. I actually
Because we
let-
and you
let me-
talked about that.
let me.
I said
correct
it
what
should
I'm
be
saying.
named Batman and then not have Batman.
Yeah. I think DC is most likely, sadly, going to do a Batman story involving Batman
Yeah.
because he's popular
It's
and
Batman.
they want money.
Yeah.
However,
Or else they wouldn't have done a Superman film.
true, exactly.
They probably would have done Green Lantern.
They would have done Green Lantern, either a TV show or
Or
a movie.
they would have done The Flash and it's been like, here's the movie you guys have been waiting for.
Yeah,
Sorry, we fucked up last time.
Actually, I kind of wish they did that. They're like, you know what? I know we just put out a Flash movie, but here, let's
We
put out a
just did
different
this.
Flash movie.
We just
that's
did this
turning
with
out
a guy
better.
you guys hate. Now we're going to do it with a guy you guys actually do like, and we're going to do it the right way.
Bring Grant Gustin back.
Thank you. He's
No,
literally
no.
said that's the only reason that's the only reason he'll come back.
To the Flash
Is if
it
he's
DCU?
offered a role in a movie as the Flash.
Mm.
Whether it's a cameo Flash, because he already did it.
Yeah.
He already did it. You got him face to face.
Well,
That
actually,
Flash.
Actually, that scene is in Crisis, not
I know.
the Flash. But yeah.
I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying
Okay,
they
yeah,
already had both of them meet.
No, yeah.
So that from that point on, you could have had him as a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You could have been Kid Flash for the DCU, and you wouldn't have had to introduce the Flash because the DCEU already introduced the Flash
Yeah.
through CW.
Yeah.
All the U's, bro.
No. See, I will say, if they bring Grant Gustin in, they need to do one of two things. One, have it be a different multiverse from the CW Arrowverse multiverse.
Yeah.
Or if it is the same Grant Gustin Flash as that one, like, exactly, take him from a time before season, or during season 6.
Give him the fucking. If they gave him a staff, I would be so mad. If they gave him one of the lightning rod staffs, I'd be so mad.
No.
I'd be so mad.
But yeah, no, yeah,
Not much to say on this.
yeah.
We have more to say on movies that are not coming out.
True.
They're not even thought of yet. Or they're
True.
probably being thought of.
Yeah, probably because
Probably.
they've already announced that they're planning to have the entire Bat family in there.
Yeah,
so
the entire
they're
Bat family.
thinking about it somewhat.
They've announced there's going to be a Bat family. They've announced
Okay.
that there probably will not be a Batman.
You know what I wish they would do? Reboot. Not even reboot. Revive. I guess that would be the term for it. Revive Gotham Knights and just have that be the Batman story, pretty much. I think I said this
What do you
already,
mean?
basically.
What do you mean by revive?
Like, literally just bring it back and just be like, yeah, that's the Batman story. Bruce died in Wayne
Yeah.
Tower. And
But are you saying like they do it like that TV show is the inspiration for why they did it? Or are you saying they just bring back that TV show and that's the beginning?
I'm saying that I'd be fine if they just bring back that TV show and that's the beginning for Batman. Or for the Bat family. I would be fine with it.
I'd be okay if that's the intro for Batman. I don't know about the whole Bat family. At least for the movies and everything,
Mhm.
I would not be okay if that was the entire that's the intro for
No,
the entire Bat family.
Yeah, no. I mean, like,
If that was the intro for the Batman we see in like each
Uh-huh.
movie and that's why Batman doesn't get an introduced movie
Yeah.
or like an intro movie and that's why, I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's essentially what I'm saying.
Okay,
there.
okay.
But I will also say, part of me wants them to start the Bat family story shortly after Jason dies
Okay.
and becomes Red Hood. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
comes back life already, all that. But it's right before Tim Drake becomes Robin. And the
Mhm.
reason I want that is because Titans actually set up Tim Drake being the detective Robin so
Yeah.
perfectly. I need that in a movie now. Because it's literally a thing where
I feel like we're not gonna get any of this though because James Gunn kind of says it's all too dark.
yeah, but Batman needs to be dark.
Yeah, but like the
in-
whole reason most of
okay,
those
okay,
shows
okay,
were
okay.
most of
Can-
the shows were that dark because of Snyder's movies.
Yeah. No, yeah. But I just mean Batman in general
Darkest of them all.
has to. And I'm going to let people in on a little secret as to why early MCU movies did so well. And it's because they were directed by different directors a lot of the time. A director that knew the character and or the vibe of that character and could nail that really, really, if not
Most of the
really well.
most
if
of the
not
directors
perfectly.
came to them though.
Yeah. But I just mean, like, you can't have James Gunn work on your Batman movies. If they do, it is going to
No.
flop, guaranteed.
No, James Gunn is literally the Superman of like directing movies.
He needs to do Superman, maybe team up on Green Lantern a little bit with whoever they have come in to do that. But, like,
Is he directing that?
I
Or a
don't know.
producer in that?
but he cannot direct Batman at all. Like, he can be a, like, co-director on, like, The Flash, Green Lantern, really whatever. It, like, any of the more lighthearted characters.
James Hawes
Mm.
is.
But yeah, any of the more like lighthearted characters, I'm like, yeah, have him come in and co-direct, but don't have him be the main director other than on Superman, because he doesn't get that. Vibe right,
there's
that's
legitimate.
like-
It made sense for Zack Snyder to do it because
Bring-
all of his movies were gonna be the
Yeah,
equal
yeah.
darkness.
Bring Snyder back for Batman. Use Snyder for Batman and the Bat Family stories, and use James Gunn for Superman and
I'm not
Superman
gonna
related
lie.
stories,
I'm not
and
gonna
then
lie.
essentially literally have a director for each thing, and have directors come over and be like, here's like for a darker scene in the Green Lantern, maybe take
But I will
Snyder
say,
and have him come over and like be like,
I will
here's how you
say,
should do this, make it fit better or whatever, make it roll better or whatever, and then for lighter scenes you have James Gunn come in and do that, and you just essentially with you get like 4 or 5 directors, and they're the directors that are working on your entire universe, so that way it doesn't get overly complicated.
Yeah.
And you just have them collaborate with each other.
yeah. I was gonna say, I think the Russo brothers made almost all of the Avengers films. They didn't.
No. They only
Thankfully.
made Endgame and Infinity War along with
Winter
technically
Soldier.
Civil War and Winter Soldier.
Not technically, they did.
No, yeah, I just mean technically Civil War is a Avengers movie.
Oh yeah.
That's what I meant.
But yeah, I think I prefer Snyder for Superman. James Gunn can't really do anything other than Superman
Yeah.
or like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like that's his style.
Yeah.
But I prefer a darker Superman.
Mhm.
Whether it's the beginning story is darker, whether it's the whole movie is darker, I think having a darker Superman as his origin story is way better because that's probably what it would actually be like,
Yeah.
right? Like
Homelander type,
what's the
but less
yes,
psychotic.
but there's a movie that I'm forgetting. It's a horror movie where a little kid has superpowers exactly like Superman's, and it's literally based off Superman. It's just what if Superman didn't like humans?
Mm.
So it's literally like this little kid goes on a rampage with these Superman powers and like does all that.
Dang.
That's not what I want from Superman,
Uh-huh.
but that's what I want it to feel like from Superman getting angry about certain things.
Yeah.
As a child, right? And in the beginning, we literally get that. And in Man of Steel, at the beginning when he's a little kid, in his school, he runs into the closet and he heats up the door on somebody, and it like burns her hand.
Yeah.
Right? And then later in life, when he's kind of understands humans a little bit more, he saves people, then gets bullied, and then he like I wanted him to knock that kid out so hard, and when his dad told him not to, I was like, hey, responsible. That's a responsible father right there. But then he punches something. I think he punches a pole, or he's like grabbing a pole the entire time, and the pole is bent. And I'm like, yes, that's what we need. We need stuff like that
Yeah.
from like a young Superman,
Yeah.
right? And then if we get a Young Justice and Superboy's in it, that's literally what he's gonna be.
No, yeah.
You know, he's like the more anxious, angry Superman.
honestly, Titans. I've semi been rewatching it in a sense. So it's like kind of on my mind when it comes to DC stuff.
Brightburn. Fire movie.
That's crazy. Switch the camera so that way they can see what you typed in to get that to pop up.
I could not remember the name.
No. That's not even what's crazy to me. What's crazy is you type in Superman horror movie.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
then it doesn't tell you Brightburn is essentially
It
that.
shows Brightburn.
It literally pulls up the
Yeah.
IMB Brightburn
Yeah.
quick page,
After
which is crazy.
After a difficult struggle with fertility, Tori Breyer's dreams of motherhood come true with the arrival of a mysterious baby boy. Brandon appears to be everything Tori and her husband Kyle ever wanted, bright, talented, and curious about the world. But as Brandon nears puberty, powerful darkness manifests within him, and Tori becomes consumed by terrible doubts about her son. Once Brandon begins to act on his twisted urges, those closest to him find themselves in grave danger. This man literally
So real
destroys
quick,
things.
I'm gonna recap what he said in way simpler terms. Ready? Kylo Ren if he was Superman,
Not even.
basically.
Yes, but it would be like
Basically.
if
Because you have Luke Skywalker taking the role of his mom, having the doubts creep in. As Kylo Ren gets older,
Yeah.
he starts turning more and more to the dark side.
yeah.
Luke gets the inkling. He's like, something ain't right here, and then
Yeah.
to the point of even acting on it, and Kylo Ren turns bad. Just
Yeah.
take out what actually happens in number 9, and whatever.
Kind of. Yeah. But basically this is what Brightburn is what I want a Superman to be. Henry Cavill Superman is the closest we got to it just because of how dark it was.
Yeah,
He wasn't even like actually about that life like that.
Honestly, I'd argue Homelander.
Homelander is the closest. It's just this isn't chemical makeup.
Yeah.
This is just I think he does land on Earth and everything.
So, honestly, thinking about it, I have a few questions when it comes to the boys. Just randomly.
Okay. I might be able to answer him.
You won't be able to because these are completely theoretical and hypothetical that they don't show.
True.
So, Homelander,
Mm.
he's like invincible, right?
From the outside, yeah.
Can he even get sick?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. So, can he even get V poisoning?
V poisoning?
Yeah.
With the fact that he's basically like the first subject for it, no, probably not.
And then also,
But he doesn't take any.
yeah, I know. Well, he did when he was a kid, which is how he has the powers, but
Yeah. Not anymore.
Yeah. Also, that actually perfectly sets up my next question. What happens if he does? Because
If
we know V
he does-
enhances people's powers.
Probably wouldn't. It'd probably just make him even stronger or give him a different power.
Oh, you think it might it might be like a mystery box for him?
Because they like overload him with V when
he's a kid?
When he's a kid, that's why he has so many.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and then he's also like trained and everything. So I think like him doing specific training.
you know
help
what?
his powers unlock.
Part of me wants season 5 to set up Homelander to have a drug addiction on V, of just unlocking new powers. He finds out that as he takes more V, he
Yeah.
unlocks more powers, and he ends up getting addicted to the power trip of getting more powers.
I don't think he can get the sickness, but it does slowly do something to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was...
Because it was doing something
was
to
a-
A-Train.
yeah,
It was boosting his heart rate up.
not only that, but I think it was also degenerating his bone density, I think. Something like that.
Something like that.
Because...
I was going to say, I think...
I'm recording. That should be on mute.
I think he's gonna be. It's either gonna be a mass murdering spree for him. Because remember in like season 1, season 2, the scene where he's standing in front of everybody at the press conference and he imagines everybody.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get one of those.
Yeah. I hope we get one of those. I'm gonna be honest.
I will say when. I almost called him Homelander.
Okay.
When Omni-Man fucked up Mark, I was like, we need a scene like that in
Okay, so
The Boys.
for anyone who doesn't know, The Boys and Supernatural have a few characters that overlap with each other.
Yep.
So they're not characters, but actors. So the actor who plays Dean in Supernatural, also a Soldier Boy in The Boys. You have Bobby Singer in Supernatural, who's also Bob Singer in The Boys. And then you also have Jack, who is Lucifer's kid in Supernatural,
Yep.
who is also in The Boys as one of the anti-Starlights, I think.
We did mention this, I think, a while ago.
Yeah. But I'm just kind of recapping. And then,
It's confirmed now, though.
yeah. Okay, so, wait, I was
Confirmed.
right.
It's
My
confirmed now,
random
though.
bullshit, this is complete bullshit theory was actually right. That's crazy. And now we have Jared Padalecki, who is Sam in Supernatural, and he is also going to be coming to The Boys. And then Misha Collins, who is Cass in Supernatural, who's also going to The Boys. I want Sam or Jared to be a good guy working with Huey and all them. However, I want Misha to be a villain because he does a great villain. Phenomenal. His role as Two-Face in Gotham Knights, another thing he's in. So yeah, just if you haven't seen Supernatural, he's in Gotham Knights too. He plays Harvey Dent in Gotham Knights, and his role as that is honestly done really well. And then there's a time where he gets possessed by Lucifer, or his vessel gets possessed by Lucifer, and so the actor ends up playing Lucifer for a bit, and he does that really well too.
Kick ass.
He's good at doing the.
This was the one thing I never actually looked up to like double check if we were correct.
Yeah.
We just let it go.
Or I want him to play like a split personality type role where one personality's good. That actually, I need that now. I need that.
Split personality.
He is a superhero who has a split personality.
Yep.
One of his superhero personalities is good and like is only trying to help people, literally never hurts anyone unless they're trying to hurt someone else, and he never kills ever.
Okay.
And then the other side only murders everybody,
Moon Knight.
essentially.
Okay.
But you take out Mark. Moon Knight take out Mark, and it's just Jake Lockley and Steven.
But that is Mark. Are you saying he kills everybody?
No, I
or
mean,
just
it's
the people
Moon
he knows he
Knight, but
needs
it's
to
only
kill?
Jake Lockley and Steven. So Steven never kills,
Yeah.
and Jake Lockley only kills.
But so does Mark. That's what I'm saying.
Mark-
Jake Lockley
no, no,
kills
no,
like
no.
everybody.
No, Mark will kill if he absolutely needs to,
No,
but
he kills.
he doesn't like.
He kills a few people.
Yeah,
The
but
only person he doesn't kill is the kid, and then the kid kills himself. But he was gonna kill
True.
the kid, and then he's like, "It's a kid."
true. That's
But he
true.
would kill every single man that is attacking him, or
Yeah.
woman that is attacking him, or
Yeah,
beast,
yeah,
or
yeah.
anything.
But I mean like, because I feel like Mark still cares if a random outsider ends up getting hurt.
So
in
you
this.
do mean everybody?
I mean, this man doesn't give a fuck.
Random bystanders.
You're in my way, you're dead. You got hit by this man because I punched him through a wall and
I
then
don't
that wall
want to
fell
say
on
that's
you.
Jake Lockley,
I don't give
but
a fuck
yeah,
about you.
yeah, I can see what you're saying. I
Like,
don't want to say
I-
that is Jake Lockley because we haven't seen like
Yeah.
him depicted
Yeah,
on
yeah,
something
yeah.
yet, and there's not. I don't think there's a lot of him on comics
I'm not sure.
of
I-
that personality.
Whoops. Didn't happen.
Luckily, it didn't blow up everywhere. But yeah, no, that would be cool if they added that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will though, 'cause most of the heroes that we see don't have that much like trauma,
Yeah.
except for Homelander.
Homelander. I mean, I'd argue in different ways. Like Starlight, in a way, has a trauma with her mom and that whole story. A-Train
Yeah.
has a trauma with.
But that's more her trauma
oppression.
comes from more when she's an adult for Starlight.
No, it's like
Yeah.
it's the whole thing where she's Like
her entire life has always been this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't until she got older that she didn't like it. And it became like a pageant show. Because at first she was like, I enjoy this because I'm a kid.
yeah.
I don't know like
Yeah,
these moments of it.
Mhm.
And then as she gets older, she starts pointing it out. And then it became like a pageanty, like a
Yeah.
you gotta have to be this way the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's when she stopped liking it.
For
For A-Train, it's not his trauma isn't it drugs?
drugs and essentially like oppression and stuff like that. Like that's kind of like,
Not really.
if I'm remembering correctly.
They show it, but it's not like a
Well, okay, no, it's
not like a
n-
getting
it's
beat
not
on
it's
type.
not oppression. It's honestly, I it might be showing it well. I can't speak for it because for multiple reasons, but it's showing what it would be like for a black person of that high of recognition to be in like media, pretty much like movies,
really?
shows, stuff like that. Because I think of I think of the movie that they wanted to make.
Yeah,
With A-Train, where they were all like, yeah, we're gonna have this. I think they said Tom Hanks specifically be his coach, and he was all like, but my brother was my coach, and they're all like, yeah, but it's better if it's a white man coaching the ghetto black.
Yeah, like
kid
that.
Like
That part's true, but that didn't happen to him in real life.
yeah. No,
Like he
yeah.
wasn't raised in like a bad area, really.
Wasn't he? I thought he was.
He put himself into all the bad circumstances he's ever been in.
Mm.
That's why his brother doesn't mess with him like that. He's only his coach, really.
Yeah.
And then
yeah,
when the whole V stuff starts happening, his brother's like, man,
yeah.
it's kind of like another day.
Yeah.
But no. I wouldn't say A-Train really has trauma. He really just has the stereotypical.
Okay, A-Train has trauma from what happened to him on V.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
But that's his fault.
yeah. No, I'm not saying it's not his fault. I'm just saying.
I mean, like
I feel like
Homelander has actual trauma.
yeah,
from
100%.
Everything he's actually been through,
100%.
and that's why he is the way he is.
Although,
Because
like,
of his trauma.
Okay, I feel like Homelander's the only superhero in the show that has trauma before the show starts. I will give you that.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
what's his face? I'm
I
forgetting his
swear.
name. Beard.
Oh, Soldier Boy.
No. Although Soldier Boy, yeah.
World War II. Yeah.
What's his fucking face? He's the detective dude who's not actually a detective who everybody knows, but nobody really knows because he runs away from everybody all the time. He's like the drinker dude who is an Aussie, but actually from New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know his name.
The
I
guy
forget
who
his name.
hunts on soups.
Yeah,
Um.
because he takes V
Yeah.
and gains superpowers.
Same time as Huey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he keeps taking it.
True. Doesn't he die in season 4? At the end of season 4?
I don't fucking remember.
I don't remember either. We should probably rewatch that show before season 5 comes out, but that'll be next year.
It depends.
So we have plenty of time.
I'm skipping season 4. Season 4 is not my favorite.
Really?
Season 1 is my favorite, and season 2 is also
That's fair.
good because it's a continuation of
Yeah.
season 1. Once we get past season 1, season 2, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, season 3. I'd say season 3 is probably my least favorite. Because season 4 is when we get
season 4
Soldier
actually,
Boy.
yeah. Season 4
Season
we get
4,
Soldier Boy,
I can't
who
not
literally
love
has the
season 4 simply
he
because it has
needs to be
Jensen.
Batman. If anybody's gonna be Batman, it needs to be him.
Oh, 100%.
That man has the voice of
No,
a demon.
Yeah.
And I'm sick and tired of hearing people fake Batman's deep voice.
Yeah.
Like, we all know it's supposed to be like a vocoder. Like, it's
Uh-huh.
not his actual voice,
Yeah.
but that man can make it his actual voice.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. Jensen Ackles needs to play.
It's like a few episodes in Supernatural where he has a higher pitched voice and then just switches to a deep voice.
No, it's a few seasons.
Is it seasons?
It's I wanna say
I'm saying, does his voice like progressively get deeper each season, or does it just randomly get deep? Because to me, that's what happens. It goes from like, yeah, this is like a normal deep voice to what is going on. You got
Kinda
something in your
both.
throat. Pause.
I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of both. Where it is gradual for the first 4, I believe. If what happens when I think it happens.
Mm.
And then Dean gets trapped in hell, and there is a decent jump with how deep his voice is,
Mm.
and then it returns to it getting gradually deeper over time.
Okay.
So a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
saw
of
this-
both.
I saw a few episodes
But
of
there is
Supernatural.
a jump. I want to say between season 4 and 5 when
Yeah.
his voice just drops a
Yeah,
lot.
I saw a few episodes of Supernatural and then saw him in The Boys. I was like, this man's voice is like 20 octaves deeper,
Yeah.
like below surface level deeper. It was crazy. Yeah. I think that's our rant, though. I think that's our rant. We came, we saw, we succeeded, and Superman looks about the same.
Yeah.
Ironheart looks really bad. On the way over here.
Real quick. Pre-release,
Yeah.
just after seeing first trailer rating for Superman.
What, my personal rating or what I think
Personal.
it's actually going to get?
Personal rating, both. Give me both.
Okay. Personal rating?
Uh-huh.
From what we've seen, with my favorite part being the argument that we see like 30 seconds of, I'm going to give it probably a 3. Yeah. Give it a 3.
That's fair.
Yeah. Because I feel like I'm like, at a certain point, we gotta like, we have to understand that one, most of people who are commenting on this stuff don't actually know that much about like making the whole film, you know, the animation, all the CGI about it. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, you could be like, we've seen enough, and some of us might be like good in certain areas of filmmaking, where whether it be animation, CGI animation, structural, whatever, right? Camera angles, whatever it may be, lighting. There's gonna be a certain point where we're all able to understand certain things just from getting other point of views.
Yeah.
From what I've seen from other people, and from my personal point of view, and all I am is a mediocre artist. That's it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 3 because of the way it looks. Because of the way it looks, and probably. Yeah, it's probably going to be more to the fact that most people think the suits look like cosplay.
Yeah. I get that.
So not even like the way anything actually looks. It'll just be the suits mainly. And if the story's not hammering down on everything it can possibly hammer down on through the floorboards, like trying to break everything, hammering down. Unless that's what the story is doing, I almost called it a story mode, like this is a video game. That's because that's what it kind of feels like.
Yeah.
It's like I'm about to be able to choose what I want to do. Do I want to do a creative mode where it's going to be just everything's thrown at the wall? Or am I going to get an actual story where I can, it's a fine line linear story. There's no open world, even though it probably won't be open world. They're probably not going to go anywhere other than the events.
Metropolis. Yeah.
Not even Metropolis.
Yeah,
It'll just be the
true.
events. That's
Yeah.
all we're going to get.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like on our way here. We might get 1 or 2 flying scenes where he's going somewhere, but it might be to the Fortress of Solitude, and that's it. So I think it's going to be a 3. What do you think?
Personal rating off of what we've seen, I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
Bit higher, just because...
Reasonably high. I think mine's a little rude.
Yeah, well, like, okay. I see why you gave it your rating. I could also see why people who don't care as much about the suits looking fake might give it a 6 or a 7.
Yeah. And I'm thinking those are going to be the more comic fans. Like they're higher on the DC comic rating.
No, 100%. But like I feel like just the look and vibe of it definitely gives off that this is supposed to be a Superman thing.
Yeah. That's I'm not gonna lie. That's the majority of my rating.
My concern is going to be really like what's really holding it back from hitting like a 6.5, 7 for me is my concern of this isn't supposed to be a brand new Superman, but everything we've seen looks like it's trying to set him up to be a brand new Superman.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like this Superman has been doing something for a while.
Yeah, like Spider-Man in the PS4 games, it's stated he's been doing it for 5 years, and it feels like he's been doing it for 5 years.
Yeah,
You're
he runs
going
out.
around like they state the first time you fight Shocker in the game, that Shocker broke free of jail again.
Yeah.
You have his fight with Rhino Slater,
which I think
Kingpin,
that's
which he's making quotes about having done this multiple times before and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And so like they're nailing into you that he's been doing this for a while, and then his the way that the game, of course this is a game, but still the way that it makes it feel efficient in how you're doing things, or at least for the time because I'm gonna be honest, playing Spider-Man 2, then going back playing that game, fighting feels so stiff in that game now. that is really the difference between Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man, the PS4
This
version.
is the like stiffness of fight styles and choreography.
Even Miles Morales, I'd argue, has smoother fighting in it than the PS4 game.
Man, you know how I was talking about how this dude was this one video sounding real racist that I was watching about Ironheart?
Yeah.
Tell me why he got on Miles Morales too. Tell me why this man shit
no.
on Miles Morales too.
No, we might.
We're gonna watch the video.
We might end up actually having a purely hate episode. I'm not.
Guys, we try not to. We try not to.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest though. There are exactly 3 characters someone could talk shit on, and I will genuinely start hating you. Miles Morales, Nightwing, and the Flash. And the Flash,
the only Flash you can hate on is the CW Flash because of the fact that they downplay how strong he actually is.
No. Not even that. I mean like the generalization of the Flash.
Yeah.
But like you can hate on individual, like you can hate on Ezra Miller's Flash if you want. Like I don't care about that, right? Because you're more so hating on Ezra Miller's Flash than the Flash in general. But if you're hating on the Flash in general, there's something wrong with you.
You got problems.
Or you don't know the comics.
Yeah,
one of the two.
Problems.
Like
you got problems.
Or not even the comics. You haven't seen anything with the Flash because
I need to know what's wrong with Miles Morales.
I will say.
I need to know why people would have a problem with Miles Morales.
I do too. He personally favors Spider-Man.
All these Spider-Men, all these Spider-Women, all these Spider animals, and you have a problem with
Shout
Miles.
out Spider-Pig.
You have a problem with Miles Morales.
Actually,
because I think there's only one Miles Morales that's a Spider-Man. 2
that we see. Well, isn't there's?
Oh yeah, I guess it would be 2 because the PS4 universe is technically a part
PS4
of
universe
yeah.
and across or into the Spider-Verse universe.
Is there any other Miles Morales?
I think there is one more into the Spider-Verse or across Spider-Verse that we see.
We see him, but I'm saying, in the Spider Society.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say because we see the Prowler, who's Miles Morales, but he's supposed to be our Spider-Man.
No.
That whole thing happened.
I mean, I think there's another one in the Spider Society that is Miles
if
and
there
also
is,
a Spider-Man. But there aren't many that we see.
That's fine.
And
that's
probably
fine.
the comics is
but
a different
you
one.
You want to know why I said this was probably racist? Because guess what Spider-Man he mentions as to why we don't need Miles Morales? Peter Parker. Hey, I don't have any problems with Peter Parker, but you could have mentioned a better one.
3rd favorite Spider-Man.
Was it? Oh no, it's because Miguel.
Yeah.
Okay.
2099 second.
Both of Spider-Man's top Spider-Men aren't white. No racial.
True.
No racial. Just based off their story and their powers alone, they are better than Peter Parker.
Facts. Like Miguel is better because he has more advanced technology.
I think he's also stronger a little bit.
Is he probably
because he has like the fangs.
Yeah,
and
he's
the
like a
claws and
vampiric
stuff.
spider. And then Miles
It's just fucking Miles.
Yeah, Miles is literally you take Peter and give him invisibility and
take
Venom.
Peter and most of his gadgets and just put him in his DNA.
Yeah.
Just put him in his
Facts.
DNA and he'd be Miles Morales.
Facts.
So I don't know if we have much to say after that.
No,
Miles Morales is one of the greatest Spider-Man, if not the.
Since we're talking about TV shows and all that stuff, I'm just gonna see if there's a trailer for. No, I know there's a teaser. I'm gonna pull this up since we're reacting to Fallout season 2 teaser. Since we're on this topic of reacting to stuff and all that,
Definitely typed in teaser.
Fallout season 2 trailer.
I definitely typed in teaser.
Oh,
This is-
at Tasser.
I definitely typed it.
At Tasser. Is this?
That's 12 minutes. That's probably a breakdown.
Yeah, it has to be. Here it is. Yeah.
That's not the official account though.
No, it's not. What?
Did they?
I
think they just announced it. They didn't put out a teaser.
I swear I did see a teaser or let me see. Is this?
It's from the show, right? Bro, what is up with people saying teasers and they're like 2-3 minutes long?
Yeah.
Because if this is the teaser, I don't want to watch it.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure all of this is from the first
That's what I'm thinking.
season.
But that one part where he was in the talking to that lady, didn't I feel like I remember it, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Like, No, this is during like episode 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show it so that way I can.
Confirmation, y'all? Confirmation?
Right. If I'm wrong, tell me. But this, I'm pretty sure it's vault. What was it? 4? Is that the vault that he did the thing in where he went in and met that family? I want to say it was
I don't
vault
remember
4.
what vault it was. I didn't rewatch it. I watched it once and then that was it.
Same, but I'm just that big of a nerd, I think.
Yeah.
Vault 111, Vault 14, 75. Is in the past.
The what?
Past.
Uno. My bad.
No, this is talking about her vault, which is what I thought that was.
It could be
about.
the teaser.
No,
Here, switch it back to our camera.
yeah.
Just type in. I'll just type in season 2. See what's going on with it.
Okay, fun.
Touch it.
Fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, we know how to work our equipment.
Right. Sometimes our equipment just doesn't want to work.
Exactly, guys. It's never the operator.
No, never.
Never.
Always the equipment.
Go up so I can type in 2026. What's up with?
It's this year, 2025.
Oh yeah, it is 2025. Yeah, no, it's just news.
Season 2.
You probably saw a very well crafted clip montage.
No, 'cause I saw it was something like this. Like when I clicked on Google, that was like season 2 Fallout trailer or teaser. Yeah, premiere date trailer. What was this saying? Also, season 3 has been confirmed. Apparently.
Yeah, they can. It was in the announcement thing,
Mm.
like poster or something. When is premiere? Go back up. Well, come on, 25. When it announced May 12th. Oh, okay. Yeah, there isn't a teaser yet.
What? Is our Fallout season 2 trailer? Hey,
Not yet.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. It's a fake news story, I guess.
Fake news. That's been going around a lot, though.
It really has.
That's been going around a lot.
Yeah, I've yeah. Google likes to lie to me a lot, apparently.
But remember, kids, always trust the internet.
Always, forever.
Always.
It never lies, except for when it does.
Okay, before we leave, because we said we were done, but we're not done because we always forget at least one thing.
Yep.
Before we leave, how well is Superman doing overall?
Like critic rating?
Yeah, not our personal rating anymore. How do you think it'll do first week? Out of, let's do 5. Out of 5.
I think critics will probably rate it. I feel like critics are hard to pinpoint because it's either going to be a 2 or a 3. Or no,
critics, I
2
think
or
it'll
a
be
4.
higher.
Sorry.
I think it'll be way higher.
For critics, it'll either be a 2 or a 4. Either the
I think
story's
it'll-
going to be so bad that they're going to rate it lowly because
Mhm.
critics never look at it from the perspective of like, oh, this is a movie made for this group of people.
Yeah.
or it's gonna be rated a 4 because they're looking at it as the story's pretty good, and and what most people will end up rating it would probably be like a 2 or a 3, because the suits and CGI looks bad and whatever, right?
The CGI that's not actually CGI looks really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like critics are either gonna give it a 2 or 4, the audience. I feel like it's the same thing.
I think the audience is gonna go 3 or lower. I think the critics are gonna go 4 or higher. Because they get to rate it out of a 10, so I think they're gonna go 4 or higher. But I think if we're doing it out of 5, I think the critics are going 5 flat. Because most of them are probably gonna be paid off. Either by the producers and everybody making Superman, or they'll just be paid off by their company, so that maybe next DC film does, like, they come to them to do their reviews and their interviews and stuff. I think an audience rating, it'll be lower than either 3 or lower, unless
it's actually done well.
Yeah, unless the story is actually top tier, and it's like, yo, we didn't even imagine a Superman like this.
Yeah.
This is our Superman. We didn't even think this could have been what Superman could have been.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've had pretty much every iteration of Superman besides the darkest version, where he's literally just going around killing everybody.
Yeah.
But that would need to be a Batman movie.
100%.
So
if they do an Injustice storyline, it has to follow Batman.
not follow Batman. I just think it starts with Batman.
Like, it surrounds Batman more than any other.
Because that's why I think the Snyder's Cut was supposed to go from Justice League into
100%.
Injustice. Because if you guys rewatch this, okay? If you guys go back and watch Man of Steel and then watch Dawn of Justice, which happens right after Man of Steel, directly after Man of Steel, okay? If you go back and watch it, the Ultimate Edition.
Snyder's Cut?
Yeah, but it's called the Ultimate Edition.
Oh, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, for Dawn of Justice, it's the Ultimate Edition. I don't think Man of Steel even has an extended cut, does it?
I think it has a director's cut.
But if you guys go back and watch it, right? Watch Man of Steel, then watch Dawn of Justice. You will notice Man of Steel is very dark and gloomy. I wonder why. Right? That's a little odd for Superman. Then you will notice, what is Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition open up with? Bruce Wayne's POV of what is happening during Man of Steel. Why do we never see this? Because the entirety of Man of Steel is Bruce Wayne's POV. He don't give 2 fucks about how Henry Cavill's Superman got here. We do. The audience needs that context. That's why I hate it when the audience member is like, oh, I was in the movie. Yeah. I was so immersed that I didn't even understand what was happening. No. We need to understand his story so that the controversy in the next film makes more sense.
Yeah. But like if you look at the 3 movies that he did, technically 3, because
I think he did Aquaman.
Oh, did he do Aquaman?
He did another movie in the sequence.
Okay, well, probably Aquaman then. If you look at
it was either that or Wonder Woman. One of the good it was one of the good ones.
Yeah. But if you look at the 3 movies that are like back to back to back, right? Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice, and Justice League. Snyder's Cut specifically, if I'm not mistaken. You have the visions and the Barry running back in time to tell Bruce to save
Watchmen. It was Watchmen. That's the other superhero movie he did.
Watchmen.
Which also flopped.
Yeah, but telling him to save Lois, or
for the tornado.
When Barry comes running back in time and he's all like, "You need to save Lois." Wait, am I too early? And then
for the
when Bruce is just sitting in the chair in the Batcave.
He falls asleep. But
yeah. But so like looking at that, and then also looking at the scenes that we see what the future Barry came from looks like in Snyder's Cut, because they actually show that.
They do.
My theory as to what Zack Snyder was trying to do in that was you have it follows the Injustice storyline, and then once we get to that future point, see, because now I wish we
There's a
actually
lot.
had this. I wish we because
There's a lot.
in my personal opinion is that we weren't supposed to get the Flash movie nowhere near this early in the
We weren't.
DCU.
We were supposed to be a different one, and then they switched it to be the one it was, and we weren't supposed to get that one as early.
Yeah, but
But then they realized it wasn't gonna make any money, so
yeah, because but the way that I think it should have been done is we followed the events of Injustice. Superman turns evil.
Yep.
The whole world goes into apocalypse mode.
Yep.
And then the Flash movie is actually following Barry running back in time trying to fix the events that are going on.
That makes sense.
And probably creating a flashpoint and then going back and trying to fix that flashpoint because he tried to fix too much. So then when he, after going back and fixing Flashpoint, there'd probably be like 2 or 3 movies. Because there would be the movie of him creating Flashpoint, the movie in Flashpoint, and then the movie of him fixing the entire timeline perfectly. Well, close enough to perfect.
You're completely correct. That was supposed to be all 3 movies.
And
then they squashed them into that one.
And that's how they end off the entire DCU.
They could have done it perfectly if they did.
Or
like that.
they literally do. Nah, they literally could have done a reboot into the universe they're doing now.
That's what they tried to do with the Flash. That's why it's like all
but
space and dimension and
definitely
timey
do.
and all that.
They didn't do it well because they didn't have this universe planned out when they made it.
They didn't do well because that movie was never supposed to come out at all.
Yes, but I feel like if they had the DCU planned out by the time they made the Flash movie, that movie would have turned out probably like
3
3 times
they
better, at
technically
least.
did.
But I mean like thoroughly thought out. Because I
They
guarantee you,
did.
this universe is like infinitely more thought out now than back
Yeah.
in the Flash.
But
when it
Are
came
you
out.
saying the universe the Flash was in, if that was more thought out?
No. I'm saying the DCU
Yeah.
now, if it was more planned out
Mhm.
at the time of when the Flash came out,
Yeah.
it would have made the Flash better.
Yeah, it was. The Flash was done. They literally just had it there, waiting.
No, yeah, I mean,
So but when the Flash came out, they were done planning, like, when Superman was coming out and all that, probably. Right? Unless
I
I'm
mean the
forgetting when the
story.
Flash came out.
The Flash came out like 2021, I think. Maybe 2.
I wish it was that one. 23. Yeah, they had it planned
Okay,
out.
23.
They already had it planned out. Because they all of 2024 were talking about it.
Yeah, but like they probably had Superman thought. They were like, yeah, we're going to reboot it and do Superman at this point. But they didn't think about anything else other than that at this point. I can almost guarantee that.
I think they did.
I doubt it.
Because
I
they
doubt
announced
because
Superman, and then
I
right after
think-
they're like, there's going to be no Batman. And then right after that, they were like, there's going to be a Bat family.
Yeah, but I think if they had all of that thought out while they were making the Flash, we would have seen the characters in the Flash.
I'm not going to say James Gunn was shitting on Zack Snyder most of the reboot as they were announcing it, but they were basically shitting on Zack Snyder for what he did in the beginning that kind of messed up everything that happens after. So it was like a subtle like trashing
and
of Zack Snyder.
Can I just say real quick that this is why video games are just superior to movies?
How so?
I
They're starting to
guarantee
become
you-
exactly like movies, though.
Yes, but 98% of the time, if the Zack Snyder's DCU was made into video games, it
was the beginning of Zack Snyder's movies are the Arkham series.
I know, but just let me explain real quick. If they were made into video games, we would have had Man of Steel and Dawn of Justice in the same game. Would have made it infinitely better, and people would have actually probably enjoyed that.
I don't know.
And then, right after that,
I think
we
Dawn
would
of
have
Justice would have been DLC. But yes, same game.
Yeah. And then we would have gotten specifically the Snyder's Cut because of how long it is.
Yep.
And probably even more on top of it.
It would probably be the first 100-hour linear video game.
Probably. And then
I hope I'm using linear right for video games, right? It's
I think
straight
so.
path.
Yeah.
Can't really stray anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And And then, because at this point, once Snyder's Cut Justice League comes out, as in this theoretical video game world where they're all video games,
'Cause
everybody would have realized, oh, he's in a way setting up a Injustice world, but more story-based video game-esque, right?
I was so annoyed people didn't notice that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
When Dawn of Justice came out, especially Dawn of Justice, I was like, this is supposed to be like
Man of Steel, I was like, giving me inklings. And
Yeah.
then Dawn of Justice was like, okay, yeah, he's definitely
you
taking
just
inspiration.
confirmed it.
Yeah.
You
And
just
then-
confirmed it. The
and
only
then
thing you switched
Snyder's
up.
Cut Justice League is like 2,000% guaranteed he was trying to
Yeah,
set
it was
up
like
the Injustice
it was like
world.
either end of this movie or next movie, Lois Lane dies.
Yeah. No, yeah, facts.
And good luck.
Dies probably to the Joker. Or no, dies because he ends up getting gassed by the Joker.
I was about to say, because even the Joker gets teased in
Yeah.
the Dawn of Justice. I
Yeah.
think his laugh comes in.
So, like, yeah, no, if they're made into games, people would have enjoyed them more
Yeah.
because they're games and they're more interactive.
Mm.
And people might not have like the darker feel of Superman for the first game, but once the second game came out, being the Justice League, everyone would have realized what he was trying to set up.
Everybody would have noted if the Justice League never came out and it was just Injustice.
Or if it
From
was,
what we got, if
I-
Justice
I'm
League
gonna-
was just Injustice,
I'm gonna
or
be honest.
if it was set up a little bit better and people understood it a little bit well.
I wish movies would stop trying to put time restraints on themselves.
What do you mean?
Thunderbolts, Justice League. There's quite a few movies
Justice
that
League
I'm
was
like,
made for like 6 years though.
yeah, but there's
No,
a decent amount of
they
movies
were-
that I'm
They
like,
were making that movie for a really long time. They were making that movie since Dawn of Justice.
yeah, but I'm just saying they just released a Snyder's Cut. Just flat out released a Snyder's Cut. I don't think the DCEU flops.
No, because
Flat
by
out.
that point,
They-
that was supposed to be
I'm-
Zack
I-
Snyder
like,
taking over
I-
DC.
No, I
For
think
sure.
I think genuinely everyone was like, everyone, if they release a 4-hour full Snyder's Cut, everyone would have been like,
In 2 parts. That's all you need to do.
true, yeah. But I feel like if they just did it as one movie, it would have been I'm a bit hesitant to go.
Mhm.
But after the first weekend, everyone would hear that it's a phenomenal movie,
Yeah, I
and
was-
it would just start getting flooded.
What's? I'm forgetting the name. Hold on, wait. Wicked. When they took that from the play on
Mhm.
theater and put it onto the movie, everybody thought it was gonna be one long film,
Mm.
and it was gonna be like 3-4 hours long, and people were really irritated when it wasn't. They were like, "There's a
Mm.
part 2." It's coming out this year.
Yeah.
So it
yeah,
wasn't even like we had to wait that long.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it's still in production. They literally shot the full thing exactly like how it would be shot
Uh-huh.
normally. So they are not even reshooting anything. It's already done.
Yeah.
People are just like, "Why'd you do this?" And I guess it's 'cause of an intermission. But yeah, I think if either Zack Snyder's Justice League, the actual Zack Snyder's Justice League,
Yeah.
and not the one he executive produced and
Yeah.
semi-directed,
Yeah.
not that one. If the 4-hour, I think it's like 4 hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's long.
Full got put in, and I think there's even some stuff that got cut out of that one. So probably like more like 5 hours.
Yeah.
If that got put out, I don't think we'd even be seeing this movie right now.
No.
And if it was, it'd because this is a multiverse part.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah,
now,
no,
we're now seeing
100%.
everybody go different areas. We would have had Grant Gustin because apparently Zack Snyder does know how to make good choices.
Right.
Like y'all might have gotten on him about his choices with how dark and gloomy it sounds, but literally everything we've seen from the DC hasn't been as good.
No.
Nothing. And if I showed you the original
Like,
Man of Steel trailer, oh my gosh, 10 times better than what we just saw.
I bet. But
10 times better.
like the best things that DC has put out recently, or not even recently, in the past 40 years at least, in terms of like live action stuff, I should say, because their animation's generally on point, and same thing with their whatever else. What was that I saw?
For what?
Just go back into DC universe.
What?
The Batgirl.
This one?
I have never heard of this. Is this new? 2024. Relatively.
No, it can't be.
It's relatively new. It's the overview says 2024.
shelved.
Huh?
It's shelved in 2022.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say, if y'all saw this picture, bro, no, we don't need that. It literally looks the worst out of everything right here.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
it looks the
No,
worst.
yeah, 100%. But like I would say the
Blue Beetle. That's the best thing they've put out since everything's kind of crashed. Blue Beetle and the Batman.
I would argue Suicide Squad 2 as well.
The Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
That was before everything crashed.
Was it?
Yeah, that was like the last movie they did before everything crashed down.
'Cause I thought technically like Superman Dawn of Justice was where everyone's like, this is where it starts going down. Because
That's where they say that storyline, like the DC just needs to stop.
Yeah.
When it keeps going, they point out everything else, and it would be Aquaman,
So like
Aquaman 2,
the guaranteed good ones: Suicide Squad, Aquaman,
Snyder's Cut.
Snyder's Cut, obviously, but it's not up
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
The Batman, the Suicide Squad. I'd argue just base Suicide Squad 2, but you know what? Whatever.
2 of them aren't even being shown, or 3 of them aren't. 4 of them aren't even being shown. The ones that like really
And
brought everything down.
honestly, kind of. I don't know how you feel about this movie, but I enjoyed the first Shazam.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really rewatch it that much, but yeah, no. Like
I watched it
the
3
beginning
times,
lineup
but
until you get to
not-
1988 is where everybody's like, these are arguably good.
Yeah.
Once you get to 1988, 1984, Wonder
Yeah.
Woman, everybody's like, nope, this is bad. The Batman's good. Everybody said that was really good. They
Yeah.
wanted it to be connected to the one that's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then Batgirl came out. That didn't even happen.
Actually,
Black
no one heard
Adam
about it.
destroyed nearly everything that
Yeah.
the DC started trying to build back up
Yeah.
with the Batman. The
Facts.
Suicide Squad started building stuff back up. Birds of Prey was a good like segue from the Suicide
I actually
Squad.
enjoyed Birds of Prey. I'm gonna be honest.
And then Blue Beetle came out. It didn't do well enough, probably because they didn't market it at all. That was during COVID.
Yeah, that and also
And then
the
Aquaman,
writer strike and all that happened
Yeah,
during
yeah.
it too.
and then Aquaman came out, and they were
Which
like,
is
"We're
sad
done.
because
We're done. We can't keep
Okay,
going."
real quick. Can we do you think
Soli me duele ya? What about him? X O L A. There you go. L O.
Yep.
Or we could talk about, how do you say that? How do you say his last name?
Zol
Joel?
Joel
Joel?
Joel.
Pronounce Soul. Soul. All we gotta
Soul.
do is read a little bit, guys. We could talk about Eduardo Soul, who is a TV host, an American TV host.
Thank you.
Sholomeli Dueña.
Okay.
Okay, what about him?
Let's just I don't actually care about that right now. I thought it was a misclick. Let's go here.
Okay.
Let's get
Get a pick of the beard. Yeah.
so many.
Better one.
we
Yeah,
go.
there we go.
So what if
Are you coming out? Is that what this is?
Huh?
Are you coming out?
No.
I would understand it.
So what role
Okay.
from either Marvel or DC
Yeah.
do you think he just fits
Just fits.
perfectly?
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle?
Yeah.
So you want
There was nothing changed about Blue Beetle for him. He was like literally
yeah.
Blue Beetle.
But
If I was to put him in Marvel,
so you're saying if he's to do another superhero thing, you'd want DC to just
keep him.
keep him as Blue Beetle and just have it be a
Keep
different
literally
storyline?
not even a different storyline. Literally just bring him in as Blue Beetle and be like,
Mm.
you guys can go watch his movie if you want.
Yeah.
Because they like basically do what they did with the MCU.
Uh-huh.
Take the best parts, like even bring in Henry Cavill as Superman again if you feel like it.
Yeah.
If we're gonna go multiverse and do all
True,
that fun
true.
stuff, bring him back.
Yeah.
You guys can go nostalgic and bring back the other Batmans and all that.
Yeah, they could even do
You guys can do all that.
Ray Palmer
Yeah, as long as you do it good.
Yeah.
That's it. As long as you do it
true.
good. For who would I put him as for Marvel? For Marvel? Spider-Man. He would need to bulk up a decent amount, but I would want him to probably be Miguel O'Hara. He would need to bulk up. He has the most fighting experience.
Yeah, easily.
In probably the Marvel cast.
Yeah.
Without being on it. He did his own stunts in Blue Beetle.
Uh-huh.
The suit was clean as fucking Blue Beetle, so I think the suit would be really clean in this if he was Spider-Man. And then I don't want to have to hear any cringy Spanish from anybody who doesn't speak Spanish and has to learn it because they look like Miguel O'Hara.
That's valid.
I'd rather him just bulk up.
I feel like
I'm probably thinking of I'm probably forgetting somebody who's like fitting him perfectly.
I feel like there's an X-Men.
There probably is. He would be a decent I mean he's Russian, but he would be a decent Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I could see that.
If they do want to race swap and everybody would get mad, including me, Cyclops.
Honestly, I was low-key thinking the same thing. I don't think I'd be mad just because it's him specifically.
No, I would be like, respect to this actor, but they would probably make his story really bad.
Yeah, sadly.
They would either make his story really bad or it would just look weird because Cyclops is, what, like 6'5"?
Yeah. Oddly enough, I'm going to be honest. And no, when I say this, I mean as a cameo. I don't think that he would play this role good in like a standalone movie type thing. But as a cameo, I wouldn't mind if they bring him in as a Wolverine in a multiverse.
Why?
I don't know. I think it has something to do with his hair. Honestly,
it makes sense. I was
like
the entire time I'm thinking like Sabretooth with his beard and his hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see Sabretooth too, but
that
Wolverine
kind of more
I don't see
raggedy
at
look.
all. I see like I definitely see Sabretooth. I don't see Wolverine though.
Sabretooth, he'd have to bulk up so
much more, but Sabretooth is normally slim, a little bit more slim than Wolverine is, and Miguel.
I'd argue Wolverine's generally the more slim one.
He's just shorter. Sabretooth is tall, and then he wears the fucking coat over him. But if he takes that off, it's like a.
You know what? Actually. And I hate that I'm saying this because Marvel just can't get the story right, and we both agree on this.
For who?
Kraven.
Him playing Kraven?
Bulk up a bit, but him playing Kraven.
Russian. You'd have the same dilemma with Nightcrawler, though.
Yeah.
Both Russian. I don't know. I think Kraven's too... Because I'm thinking of people who are a little bit more, like, upbeat. Because even Miguel O'Hara is a little too dark for him, I think. But like all the characters he plays are pretty like quippy with the jokes and all that.
Yeah.
Even Miguel from Cobra Kai.
Now
I can see Robbie Keane's actor playing Kraven.
There we go. Yeah. This would be a race swap. I ain't gonna cap. But
is it one you would Morales?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if that's a race swap entirely.
Not entirely.
That's
but
just a father swap.
He's
that would literally just be a father swap. That's it.
True, because his mom is generally lighter skinned.
His mom's only the one who's the same thing. I think she's Puerto Rican.
I think so.
Puerto Rican or Guatemalan?
Maybe. I won't say Puerto Rican though.
Hold up, guys. Let me fact check this. I don't want to be wrong about this one.
The only reason I say that is because Miles is generally portrayed as darker than he is. But
yeah. Puerto Rican. Boom. Yeah, but the only reason why is because his father's black, so literally just be like, eh.
Yeah, no, just
he just has fair skin like his mother.
Turn either that or just turn Jefferson Davis into a Puerto Rican also.
Not even.
Or just Cuban,
Not even.
Somewhere on a bit more of a lighter side.
Not even. If you saw my father, you would not think I came from.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm not saying that. Yeah. I'm not saying that they have to. I'm just saying either or would work.
Yeah.
True. But I genuinely him as Miles. He doesn't need to bulk up nothing. He could say exactly how he is and just go and play Miles.
He would need to cut his hair.
Well, yeah, but
and he's way too old to play him now, though.
True, sadly. Sadly. Maybe if like
I genuinely don't. I can't think of anybody else.
Okay, what? You know what? Actually, I think I know how we could get him as Miles.
How?
Across the Spider-Verse ends up going.
He could play. He could
into-
play. He could play. He could play. I don't remember his name. But the one from the fuck, the Indian dude, Indian Spider-Man. The one who's like chai tea is tea. So you're literally talking about TT. You know how weird it would be if I asked you if you want some TT?
I remember that, but
Only
from
reason
what?
from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. He's the Spider-Man. The one with the cuffs. Y'all know who I'm talking about,
him up.
and he is a spitting image. He is a spitting image. Y'all are gonna hate me. Y'all are gonna hate me. Him.
Him? Yeah.
He can play him. Also a race swap. But I mean, at this point in time, screw you if you really have a big deal with race swaps.
True.
Unless they make sense. If they don't make any sense,
No. Yeah.
then yeah, have a problem. with
Yeah.
it. Like let's say Ellie was a race swap.
I forgot that's who Miguel O'Hara was. Like I remembered, but I forgot. Facts over there. Bro, just spitting. Facts.
Getting on that thing, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling
Shout
you.
out
he
Oscar
can-
Isaac.
He can do no wrong.
Yeah.
He can do no
Actually.
wrong.
Actually. A part of me is kind of curious if they did any. Now this one, it technically be race swapping because it's animation, but isn't?
Yep. I was just looking at that.
Yeah, I didn't know he was Peter. Damn.
He's not the Peter we're thinking of.
No, he's the first Peter.
Nope.
The blonde hair? No.
That's Chris Pine.
Oh wait, I don't know why I keep hitting that. Then is he?
I think he's
Sweatpants
just
Peter.
I think he's just a Peter. No. That's a different Peter too. That's a different dude too. He's one of the dudes they kill. The guys that are chasing him. The guys that are chasing her. And she goes up the tree. He points them in the direction.
Yeah, no, that's from the first movie. This is the second one.
Oh, then he's in this one too. I thought he dies in the first one.
He dies in the first one because that's
he
literally
credited
it's
in
only
this?
Peter and Katniss that survived that.
He's just they just bring him up in this. It just says Marvel. Is that his name?
Yeah, he's District 2, I think. Either one or
Yeah.
two. One of the like people who are like
They've already won a few
like
times.
trained for
Yeah,
fighting
yeah.
pretty much.
Although he doesn't want to fight most of the movie.
I really wish I
Are you looking for a scene?
kinda. I wish I could just find this man in the movie. You know what? I know what I'm due. Because this is gonna bother me till I actually see him in the movie and remember.
It was already there. You just type in Hunger Games.
Fair enough. I was gonna type it into YouTube.
Bro, what is up with me and spelling shit wrong right now? I'm not even spelling it wrong. It's just out of order.
Our stunts were done by this great company called 8711, which is a sort of a cooperative that was formed by
This is behind the scenes.
a lot of them are second unit directors, which
Scroll down. Oh yeah, there you go.
So wait, he isn't?
Yeah, he's the one who points him in the direction. I think he genuinely just gets
No,
mentioned.
because that's Peter that points them in the direction.
Or he's the one who asks where they are. I saw an interview where he said he was doing something. It was either pointing somebody in a direction, or he tells them she's up there. That's what it is. Peter points them away from her. He tells them. Also, I just want to say, for Hunger Games, trash Tracker Jackers, bro. Come on. She should have been dead by now.
Well, I mean, their venom is just to produce hallucinogens. Like it can kill, but
Yeah, enough of it, right?
it takes a lot
Takes
and
a
a long
decent
time
amount,
to
yeah.
kill. It's a slow death. Like they say that it's a slow death, I believe. He is not one of these people.
Yeah, he is. Go back.
Hang
Go
on,
back a little bit.
hang on.
He's the one wearing the green shirt. That's him.
So mean. Thank you.
Hold up, I gotta go back to when he's laying down, 'cause that's when you see it the best.
That's a little bit past there.
That, yeah. Look at the roundness of his face.
Yeah, I see
Okay,
it.
I was
It
about to say,
shows.
it's not gonna look good, but you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, he looks.
If you back
way
up, there's
younger.
pictures of him. Yeah, when you scroll down. Yeah, right there.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And then the scene you're just looking at is that one on the right,
Yeah.
on the left. I mean.
Huh. Why does it say he's in Catching Fire then? Hang on.
It has to be because he gets mentioned, and they just gave him a.
It
A
has to
mention
be from a
credit.
flashback that Katniss has. So that's
Something
that's
like that,
literally the
yeah.
only way that he is in this.
Because
Catching Fire.
that comes up before the first one.
What?
Catching Fire comes up before the first one. And
No.
yeah, look
No.
that
I'm
on his
telling-
movies. On his movies, the movie that comes up for Hunger Games is Catching Fire before the first one.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying it came out before the first one.
Okay. I'm not even seeing the first one.
This isn't all the movies he's been in. No way.
Does it even show? Yeah, it shows Novocaine.
That just came out.
I know. I was just making sure it showed the one that literally came out like a week ago, or something like that.
I don't know. Aberrant. He's in Scream.
Yeah, apparently. It's in Scream.
Rampage.
Ithaca.
Yeah. Real place, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Where Odysseus is from.
Smallfoot.
Shout out Odysseus.
He's in 2 Batmans. Never mind. I don't even want to count those as Batman movies.
Animated.
Animated Halloween movies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Fun. Which part 1 is labeled part 1, but part 2 isn't labeled at all. So that's interesting. That's like the exact opposite of how most things do it. I've heard of Smallfoot. Wait, he's in Rampage? Oh shit, he's in Rampage. I forgot about that.
Oh, main character too. Wow.
Yeah. Damn.
He's a forgettable face.
He really
He's a
he
forgettable
becomes
face.
a memorable face because of the boys.
Yes. Yes.
If
he's
you
also a nepo baby,
Mm.
which I didn't know for a long time until the boys came out.
Interesting.
I forget who's his father. Dennis Quaid. You know that face.
I know that face. That is
I think he plays the Joker at one point in time. Hold up. I guess not. He's in my favorite baseball movie though, Rookie.
He kind of looks like shit. What was I thinking?
He looks like the the stretched out smile dude from Spy Kids when he's making all the Clayface guys.
But he also looks like the cowboy from Fallout, the ghoul.
Yeah.
But older, like aged up a bit.
Yeah. He definitely does. I think that's it. That's it from us.
Yeah.
Most of our like semi-planned out episodes just turn into rambles.
They really
after
do.
a while. But you guys got our thoughts on Superman. That led into us talking about DC and the whole universe of what's gonna happen. And then we're at where we're at.
Yep. Facts. And what we are at is almost an hour 40 worth of footage right now. So that's fun. Shout out W.
Yep.
Use code TRAPHOUSE25 for 10% off all products on W. Go and follow our Instagrams, our Twitches, our TikTok, our subscribe, like, leave a comment. Tell us, did you hate our opinions? Did you agree with us?
Oh, there's about to be a video you guys hate. There's about to be a video where it
Yeah.
actually will be the make or break moment for us, I think.
So yeah, let us know. And
John Walker was wrong.
simply,
Simply. That's the video you guys are gonna see.
everything's in the links in the descriptions.
Not that video though.
Yeah, true. We
So.
I don't think we
There
really
should
put
there should
videos
be
in
like
our
a there should be like a
descriptions,
logo
but
over our face by now.
yeah, something.
So
There,
yeah.
there
It's happening.
There should be
It's
videos
it's
somewhere around this.
like there should be
these
one right
general
here. There should be one
areas.
right here.
Yeah,
There's two
over
on the
here.
same side. There's
Oh,
one
okay,
one
okay.
right here. No. One right here. Wait.
Uh-huh.
One right here.
Uh-huh.
One right here.
Uh-huh.
It'll be on top of him.
Okay.
And then there'll be one there'll be the subscribe button right in the middle. If you
Yep.
guys don't want to watch those two videos, which it'll be a playlist, it'll be a playlist and it'll be a video. If you guys don't want to watch those, click that middle button right there and it'll take you to like
Our
our
channel.
channel. And that'll have all the like random stuff,
Yep.
which is mainly like this.
Yeah.
The last few long episodes have been like this, where we like start something and just ramble on about it, and then we start something else and
Eventually,
ramble on about
we
it.
make a loop back to it, but we just
We could really be like preachers or like the most boring professor. Hey, let's be real. I think we'd be some cool professors.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
We
I-
would
I-
teach-
I don't think we'd be boring professors simply because someone would ask a question and then we would just go on a complete side rant
we would
on
teach.
that question.
We would teach a critical comic theory. Critical comic theory, okay? Because for some reason, most of y'all reviewers out there, y'all don't bring up the actual context of situations when you're reviewing things.
Yeah,
And when you're like
facts.
making your
Actually,
opinion
though.
on something. Y'all make your opinion and then all your context clues are based off your opinion. They're not
Yeah.
actual context of what
Yeah.
the situation would be so everybody else can see a good viewpoint on it. That's why we had to make this John Walker video. It's
Facts.
5 hours long. I'm going through
Facts.
5 hours because of you guys. Not you viewers. Only the ones who react to other things for other viewers. You guys, you're a fucking problem. Oh my god, you know what stuff I had to look up because you didn't want to look it up first? I had to look it up for
Actually.
you because you didn't want to look it up and you're the reviewer. I'm a podcaster. I shouldn't be reviewing the reviewer. I should be reviewing the movie on the podcast.
Yep.
It should be like a 30-second review
Yep.
of the movie and the character. But no, we gotta go on a 5-hour tangent because you want to say that John Walker did nothing wrong.
So I'm now realizing I think we're gonna either have 2 outros this video, or
There's like
that's
3
gonna get
outros.
clipped.
There's like 3 outros in every video.
I realized that because we say our outro and then we start talking about stuff and we don't end the video. But real quick, because I know we both have stuff coming up in real life, so let's talk about that before we sign off.
You need to talk about that. I don't. I'll be here. I'll be able to talk about it in real time. Because we have a special guest coming
Mm-hmm.
because Madden's gonna be gone for a little bit.
True. So, this Sunday, or I think probably last Sunday from when this comes out.
This is coming out tomorrow,
Okay, so yeah, this coming up Sunday.
which is today for you guys.
True. I'm going to Vegas with my grandparents, and I'm gonna be spending a couple weeks up there. Or
Gambling.
down there.
Pretty much.
Down. It would be down from where we are.
It would be down from where we are.
Easily.
Yeah. I basically say everything's up.
Yeah, same.
I'm like,
But,
once I
okay,
get down,
if we're being
once I
fair-
get down, everything's down. Once I get down, everything's down. Okay.
If we're being fair though, I did live in Texas, where pretty much anything in the
Everything's
U.S. was
up, yeah.
above me.
Everything's
The only
up.
thing that was below me was
The Gulf.
well, yes, but city-wise was or notable city-wise, I should say.
Miami.
Was no, I guess.
I
Yeah,
think
sorta,
Miami's
but
like right on the line.
Miami's more like to the left of where I
Yeah.
was.
New Mexico.
No, that's above me.
I mean Mexico. Mexico.
It's a city in Texas. Starts with the C.
Croatia.
No, it's 2 words. Starts with a C and it's off the Gulf of Mexico.
A city in Texas off the Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah. I believe.
Gulf of America, y'all.
Yeah, facts.
I'm glad they put the slash there.
Yeah.
They
no,
call it the Gulf of Mexico still.
Yeah, like most people should.
This?
Yeah, Corpus Christi, that was it.
Crazy how that rhymes.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Corpus Christi was like the only thing below me since I was like here pretty much. This
Oh,
right
yeah,
here
yeah,
is where
yeah,
I
yeah.
lived. And so like San Antonio was above me and Austin, Dallas,
Yeah.
like everything
Literally
was above
everything.
me except for
You're the next biggest
parts
city.
of Florida.
You're literally. I feel like Texas has way too many small cities.
Texas is a lot of very small cities, and then you have the 3 big ones or 4 big ones because
Yeah, there's
Corpus
like-
Christi is pretty big down here.
Well, not even by name though. That's what I mean. I thought we would know more names from Texas than we actually do.
I know more names from Texas than
Sorry,
probably
yeah.
most people.
I thought there would be more popular names from Texas than there actually are.
because
There's
San Antonio,
only
Dallas,
4.
that's Oklahoma,
Houston, San Antonio,
Houston.
Dallas, and
Waco,
Austin.
Austin, yeah. Not Waco's kind of popular just because of
Waco's just
I
a
think
fun
shootings and
word.
stuff. Same thing with Odessa, had a couple shootings which put in the news for a bit. Corpus Christi is just popular because it's a really nice beach location. I'm gonna be for real.
Kind of feels like it's one of the only beach locations.
Well, no, I mean there's there's like you can go to like a more secluded like beach area like over here or whatnot, but generally if
You're hunting at that point.
if you're thinking of going to a city that has a beach in Texas, you're going to Corpus Christi.
Yeah. It looks like you could walk to Mexico from there. A few miles.
It would take you like probably 4 hours, but you could.
I was thinking like a day. Full day
maybe.
walking.
I don't think it's quite that far away. I think
Are you saying it definitely takes a few hours if you're on that road? But that road looks
'Cause,
really
like,
long.
you could easily just walk along the road and just get down to Mexico very easily.
Yeah. I might change it to like a day. I feel like you should change it to a day. That road seems pretty long.
Where is the? Because I know. Oh, down here. So each distance of this blue line is 20 miles. Well, that's probably still like a few hundred miles away.
What do you mean?
That's Corpus Christi to Mexico?
Yeah.
That's probably a couple hundred miles away.
That's what I'm saying. So it's probably going to
That's
take like a day.
At least 10 of those, so yeah. Yeah, probably, yeah. If not more.
Because when you start zooming out, I was like, actually, it's getting longer as you zoom out.
yeah, no, because this is like
Texas has the most
going
connecting
through.
roads, right?
no, over here. Look at all these roads.
Yeah. I feel like it's just
New
because they're
York.
smaller, though.
New York does. Easily.
But I feel like it's just
Like
because it's smaller.
No, New York, or actually I think Washington to be precise. I think literally everything is able to flow through Washington. Like every interstate highway travels or flows through Washington.
That'd be kind of cool.
DC.
It would make a lot of sense, also.
And same thing with New York, I'm pretty sure. It's why this area is pretty much impossible to attack for us, this entire coast. It's because you're literally able to get from anywhere to anywhere and get resources from anywhere to anywhere. So it's like pretty much impossible to invade, unless that's literally like everybody else in the entire world teaming up against us. In which case they're attacking from Mexico or Canada or both. But most likely more so Mexico, just because of the it's not as harsh of a climate as it
that's
is
how you
in
know
Canada.
real drugs get done in Washington and Oregon. There's like 2 roads there.
Facts.
There's like 2 actual interstate roads.
Facts up in Washington and actual Washington.
Actual Washington with Seattle
the state,
on the West Coast.
and Montana,
Idaho.
Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington have the least, it looks like. Oh, no, Nevada. Nevada has 1 up top and 1 on the bottom.
North Dakota. 1.
North and South. Yeah, they both just got 1.
They both got 1 going straight through
Straight
and 1
through.
up. They both have 1 going straight through and 1 up, which is pretty much just following their border.
Yeah. Yeah, at a certain point in North Dakota, you're not even in North Dakota anymore while following the same road.
No, yeah, you just
You
end
go
up
out
crossing
of North Dakota and
into-
come back in.
Yeah, you cross into Minnesota for a bit.
I heard it's hard to get into Canada, actually.
Now
No, it's always been.
to
They're-
get into?
Yeah, they're nice about it, but it's real hard to get into it, apparently.
Interesting.
Or not, they're sticklers about having, like, your passport and stuff.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
That makes sense. So if you have all the proper information, it's easy to get into, but if you don't, then it.
Well, no,
it's
I mean, like, even
significantly
then,
harder.
like, they're still stern about it. Like, they're checking you the same way you'd be checked even if you didn't have it.
Okay.
But that's what makes it nice.
Uh-huh.
It's 'cause they do it to everybody. What state are you like, I'm probably never living here?
Living?
Yeah. Like, ever. I wouldn't move here for a vacation. I wouldn't move here for... Probably not a vacation. Vacation's one thing. I wouldn't move here with roommates. No matter who they were, I wouldn't live here under the worst circumstances. I'm moving somewhere else. Out of country before I move here. I feel like there's a lot of places like that, though.
I'm going to be honest. I'm bouncing between a place I did live and Florida. I'm bouncing between Texas and Florida. Because you removed vacations. If vacations were in it, I don't think I could just because of Universal Orlando and Disney World. And I want to go to every park in both.
Yeah.
So, but without, like, moving there, yeah, no. Either one of these, I would straight up rather move to, like, Mexico or Cuba or Puerto Rico or, hell, Japan. Like, fucking China, Russia. Like...
You still haven't said the worst ones, though.
What, like Pakistan?
No, I was going to say North Korea.
North Korea? Well, obviously.
No, I was about to say, there's literally... we could all agree there's... Hold on, guys. This is not to start any problems.
No, yeah. Let's be clear here.
This
We
is
aren't
not-
trying to racially profile or
This
judge
is
any
not to-
country.
No, this is no. We're not. We are no threat to your society
Or anybody else's.
or our society. Have we gotten all the things covered, FBI agent? Are we good? Yeah? Okay. I think everybody in the world can say they don't want to live in North Korea.
Arguably, even North Koreans. The only
Arguably.
the only reason I say arguably is because they don't know how the rest of the world is.
That's true.
So they don't know that, because they're told that the rest of the world is worse than North Korea. So that's why I'm
probably
like,
is. It probably is.
arguably.
It probably is. Let's be real. It probably is. It probably is. Because it's everybody's ideas coming against each other, and then there's one person making decisions.
True.
For most countries, right?
Mhm.
Whereas it's literally just this guy's
Yeah.
one idea. But we don't get to hear from them, so we don't know how bad it actually is.
True.
We only hear from him. But I feel like they would have like an inkling of an idea from seeing like...
No, they get nothing there.
Well, yeah,
The only
they see
movies or
like
music
they see
or-
the people that Korea lets in and out, which would mainly be Donald Trump.
Trump or generally some like
I
bigger
don't
name,
think
like,
I was about to say I don't think
there's
Obama
like
or
one news, one like the only other person other than Trump that has gone into North Korea and gone out successfully
without
without-
problems.
is news interviewer who like literally couldn't talk to anybody or do anything without
Actually, yeah, I think
being
there's a
told he
parody
could.
movie about that.
Yeah, I think so.
Called The Interview.
But I mean, there's like a whole thing where
Literally, with how close we are, North Korea is the only country that doesn't have any roads because we're not allowed to like geographically
Facts.
show anything.
No,
from
because
there.
Google can't
yeah,
legally
the
access it.
American Google is not allowed to touch anything in North Korea.
Yeah, like China, holy
China has the most China has the most connecting roads in the world.
yeah. And then, hang on, isn't it? I want to see if, because I don't know if this is still a road you can find. I think this road here is the closest. Actually, this might be it. Now that I'm looking at it.
For what?
No, it would go way further if this was it. The Silk Road
Oh,
that ran all the way from China all the way into where Rome would be.
yeah.
'Cause I feel like that would be one of those like historical like sites that's like preserved.
No,
Sadly, it's not.
it's too long, and it's probably covered up by water. A majority of it.
Nah, the only parts that might be are like here or here, because it runs from like here, essentially, like down over here, all the way up through this, probably through the water here, through that water there, and all the way over here.
Yeah,
I-
too
like
large and the
into
majority
Rome.
covered by water.
No, I wouldn't say the majority of it. I'd say a small fraction of what it would be is covered by water, but it's still a decently big part of it because of how big the road is. Sure, but it's not.
Yeah, but
It's not nowhere near a majority. A majority is 50% or more, or more than 50% to be precise. It is not the majority, at all. It is a very, 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 very small percentage of the minority of that what that road would be.
I don't think so. I don't think it's that small.
In comparison to the entire road, it is. This is like nothing, at all. Like you take that entire road, you could easily fill up both these and still have enough road to connect from here to here, probably.
Maybe. Because it's not the Silk Road wasn't like it was literally just a path. That's all.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a building structure. Or anything
Well,
like
no,
that.
I'm pretty sure it's made out of bricks.
It was literally just a path everybody walked.
I'm pretty sure it was when it got called the Silk Road. It was made out of bricks,
I've never heard that before.
or at least the Rome part of it was made out of bricks at bare minimum. Because I know for a fact that in Rome they had it made out of bricks at bare minimum. If
They
not
might
going
have,
all the way
but-
across.
Yeah, I don't really don't know about that. Maybe, I don't know. Because the reason I'm saying that is because most of the places that aren't covered by water were covered by water.
Well, then, in that case, I doubt any of it would be covered by water under what you're saying, because they would have, if you're saying these here would be bigger than they are now, they would have had to go around those.
No, that
Which
doesn't mean they're
means-
deeper.
Huh?
That doesn't mean they're deeper. It just
I
means
didn't
they're
say deeper. I
bigger.
said bigger.
That's what I'm
There's a
saying.
difference.
I know. I'm not saying you said deeper. I'm saying it doesn't need to be deeper, so they can still walk through it. They'd be able to walk through water.
Yeah,
'Cause most of the time they're bringing carts and stuff. They're not like hand holding all of these things.
true.
So they'd probably be able to walk through the water, especially 'cause they have donkeys and horses and stuff like that.
Depending on how deep the water got back then.
Yeah, I'm
Or
thinking the
these
places,
specifically,
the main places that we're seeing that still have these bodies of water, they definitely didn't walk through. They definitely didn't walk through.
No, 'cause I think didn't this like almost stretch all the way down, like connecting to here?
Yeah, I went through Iran.
Yeah, and then these connected here at one point,
Yeah,
and then I think it also connected here.
I think Turkey was smaller.
Yeah, and then is it 'cause that's Egypt?
Is that really how big Turkey is?
Yeah, Turkey's not that big.
Well, it's bigger than I thought.
Oh.
It's also spelled different.
I don't remember. Is it where Saudi Arabia is, or is it like here? 'Cause Egypt
What?
had a major. It's where Saudi Arabia is. That's right. 'Cause Egypt was like all of this here at one point. Like it was massive. This here used to be the most fertile land that humans have found,
Mm-hmm.
because these rivers would flood it and then
Yeah.
take away the old soil, and it would make it just insanely fertile. So this is where Egypt grew most of their crops, and because of how many crops they ended up growing here, ended up drying up.
That's tough.
Well, that, and then also I think like just climate changes and just the ocean not flooding it there anymore. Therefore, it just ends up getting stale and stagnant and all that, the dirt. But
I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be able to if they built cities literally right where it would flood into.
well, no, because they had essentially all the farms here, and then they had cities like up here, over here.
But then Yemen and Oman, when they come in, they would probably take up most of the. It's probably what most of that happened. They thought they could build coastal cities to like deal with all the water and stuff to like send it back to Saudi Arabia. I think most of the time, the second we brought like different areas and places involved to do one thing for one city, it's kind of where most of society got messed up. This podcast about Superman is not about to turn into a societal viewpoint.
Yup. As a podcast about Superman should, quite frankly.
Honestly,
Like, if Superman doesn't spark up controversial or at bare minimum societal talks, it's not doing it right.
I mean, they do call him an illegal alien and say that he's an illegal alien that is representing America in the war. And he verbatim says, that's not what I was trying to do. I was just trying to, like, represent goodness. But you live in America, big bro.
I appreciate them calling that out, but I don't know how I feel about that being that
What?
in the world, just in general. Whereas, like, you just verbatim are a representative of your country, of the country that you are from.
I mean,
Just
if you
because
came
you're
from
that country.
if you came from America and went overseas to go fight a war, most people would be like, he's an American fighting a
Well,
war
yeah.
for America.
But that's different for someone like us because we'd actually have to go through the military. If you have superpowers,
No, I'm
like
saying exact
Superman-
same thing. Like, you get powers and you just go fight a war and you're from America. And the entire process is on the news. People would be like, that guy from America just went and fought a war where Americans were fighting.
Yeah. I'm not saying they won it. I'm just saying I don't like that outlook.
No,
by
no.
people. Like it's
I
it's
completely
a
understand
very
how it happens,
Stupid
though.
outlook. I understand it, but it's also very stupid and ignorant, to be precise. It's uneducated. It's a very uneducated outlook. If that's how you're thinking,
Kind of.
it is.
Kind of.
simply. If you like, for example, since we brought this up earlier,
If you were like, he's from America, that's why you did it for America, I would be like, yeah, that's pretty ignorant. But he is technically a representative of America by being the one who stopped the war. Whether or not he stops the Americans from killing everybody, or whether or not he stops whoever they're fighting, I don't know who they're fighting, but whatever war that was happening right then, no matter what side he stops, he's from America.
yeah,
So he's a representative of America. Whether or not he's the American government, her saying a representative of America is what he is. He may not claim the title either. But by being from America, like, that's why I'm like, it would make sense if he lives, it would be like if he lived in the Fortress of Solitude the entire time, right? Like him and Lois lived there or something like that. And then he's only in America to fight crime, and then he goes everywhere else to fight crime also.
yeah,
I would be like, yeah, he's not an American. He's never claimed to be an American.
yeah.
He doesn't even live in America. So calling him an American representative is like, yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But as the strongest person in America and the world at this time right now,
True.
I would be like, if you just came from America, my guy, and stopped the war, you're kind of representing America. Whether or not you're like, I'm American stopping this war, I'd be like, dude, you just came from America. America's fighting in this war, and you just stopped both sides. I'm not mad at you for being a representative. Why are you mad at yourself for being a representative? I feel like you're a good representative for America. Respectfully. If you're stopping both sides.
It's just more so that it's like, 'cause I'm like,
But if the context of what just happened, and if what happens in that is he comes, stops one side, and all the Americans cheer, and then he comes back and they're like, you're American representative, I'd be like, yo. No.
yeah,
Like, I agree with him if that's what's happening.
yeah.
Where he's like, I'm just representing the
Yeah.
good.
That's kind of how I took that. What happened?
Yeah.
Them like
The way they're
based off
setting
of-
it up,
yeah,
it
based off of
seems
what
like
I've
he's going to
seen,
save both
that's-
sides. Then they're going to be like, you're an American representative. And he's going to be like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, it seems like he's gonna get there. He's gonna save both sides, but only stop one of them.
Yeah, whichever one's doing the
non-American,
worst.
which is where the controversy is gonna spark from, because he didn't stop both sides. He only.
But
he
here's the
stopped
thing.
one, but saved both.
Here's the thing. That side's only going to pop up in America.
Facts. But yeah, no, like
I don't know if y'all want to point that out.
like okay, but I will say it's that type of mindset though, where it's like you are from this country,
So you
and
have to do this thing.
well, not yes, that's kind of what I'm getting to, but it's a mindset of you are from this country, and a person who isn't you is also from that country, and they did this thing, so therefore you have to be like that person. That's where
When did
like-
that happen?
a lot throughout all of definitely American history, probably most world history, or guaranteed most world history. Actually, thinking about it more.
From what? Where you have to be
Prime-
like that person?
No, you don't have to be like them, but you are assumed to be like them.
Because of where you're from?
Yes.
That's just stereotypes. That's
yes
literally
and
just
no.
that's just stereotypes. It's literally just prejudice and stereotypes. That's it. You just described both of them.
Stereotypes is different because
Stereotypes would be the either over-exaggerated idea or a preformed prejudice that is not true or could be true but also over-exaggerated. And then a prejudice is just something that could not be true or something that you assume is true
yeah.
because you've seen it happen before. I don't remember a time in American history where we're like, this person is somebody you have to be like, though. Unless it's something they actually did good.
Yeah, but no, I mean like for example, after Pearl Harbor, America essentially, not exactly 1-to-1, but to be precise, so that way no one gets pissed off at me for making the comparison. We had Japanese prisoner internment camps, and every single Japanese I want to say Japanese American, but I'm pretty sure it's literally every Japanese person who was in America got put into one of these camps for multiple years, and literally ended up losing like their houses and stuff over it because they couldn't keep paying their mortgages or whatnot.
Yeah.
And like stuff like that spawns from the idea of because
That's just racism.
Yeah, but that's kind of my point is racism and all that stuff spawns from that idea of because you are from this country and because this country did this thing.
That's not what's happening in Superman. For Superman, it's literally you came over from America, fought with America against non-Americans. Whether or not you stopped both America and the non-Americans, you're from America, fighting with America, from America. And the only thing that's wrong, and from what we're saying, is that you're also representing America. That's it. It's not them being racist towards Superman.
No,
it's not them like
I'm
anything
not
like that.
saying anything like that, but I'm just saying that's where that stuff comes from. Is
No.
that mindset.
No.
Yeah.
I
literally.
don't think so. No. Because what that mindset was, when they did that was a full racial mindset of you came from this area, and those people just did something to us, so we're going to stop you from doing that.
Yeah.
That's not what this is. Also, the mindset you're talking about is prejudice or stereotypes. Or just flat-out assumptions.
Yeah.
That's all. So it's not like a racial stereotype. It's literally just like, if you saw somebody be clumsy all the time, and then they stood up, whether it's the same person or not, you have no idea if they're going to be clumsy still. But your assumption is going to be that they're going to be clumsy.
Yeah.
Same thing. You just have a little bit more proof that they're going to be clumsy. But being clumsy isn't really like something crazy.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's
Or like seeing a bunch of like thugged out hood dudes in the hood, whether they be black or white or any race. And then you come somewhere else and you're expecting to see that. It would be like messed up to be like, I'm expecting to see this, but also I don't think it's racial unless you add like black people are like this, and that's what you grew up around and all that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like they're trying to set up anything like that or anything along those lines. I'm just saying that it's type of mindset of people are both representatives and reflect the places they're from. Which isn't completely wrong, but also
Yes and
isn't
no.
completely right.
Yes and no. Because I think
because
you reflect it more than you represent it.
yes, yeah, I agree with that. But I also think that a lot of the time in like I'm trying to think of the way to word this properly. I guess worse off. Like that doesn't get exactly what I want it to across, but it's close enough, I guess. But in countries that are worse off,
In what way?
like leadership wise.
Okay, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just can't think of a word
In countries that have a dictatorship,
Yeah. Well,
a higher dictatorship.
Yeah, not even like a dictatorship. Because honestly, I'm gonna be for real. Dictators aren't naturally bad. They
No. But most
they
of the
are.
countries where they have a higher dictatorship
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. They because the saying goes, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to remember where I was going with this. 'Cause I had a point.
Mm-hmm. Give it a second, guys. Give it a second. This part's going uncut. This part's going
That's
uncut.
crazy. Okay, we were talking about
Dictatorships.
before that.
We were talking about how most worse off countries have.
Before that, slightly. Not much before that, but slightly.
We were
before.
talking about how I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot. Once we started talking about the dictatorship, I was hooked on the dictatorship.
Trying to look up here to get an inkling. So we were talking about that. We ended up talking about places you would rather live. We ended up talking about North Korea, and then we ended up talking about the road, which we were talking about the bodies of water, and then we ended up talking about how Egypt worked back then,
Yep,
and then we
yep.
ended up you brought up how we were talking about Superman representatives. That's what it was.
Yep.
Superman
Yep.
being a representative of America, fighting in a different
Yep.
country for the Americans. I was talking about how
Yep.
is
Then we got to the
it's
point
similar
where we
to
were
that
talking
type of
about how,
mindset. It
ignorant-
spawns racism.
ignorant assumptions backed with ignorant confirmations create ignorant situations that create war.
Facts, but
And then you started talking about
yeah,
the countries with worse off leaders.
yeah. So like, I don't remember exactly what my point was, but I'm just gonna say what I think my point was. In countries that have the worst leaders in them, that like a person from that country
Yep.
is seen as a representative from that country if they go to a different country. And they are also seen as, and they also reflect what their country holds if they go to a different country.
Are we saying a person in the government?
I'm saying anyone, just.
No, I disagree with that. Because the only reason why Superman's being called a representative is because of what he did. If it was just another American over there who just happened to be at that war and then tried to help somebody, it would just be a civilian, an American civilian. They'd be labeled an American because that's where they're from, but they wouldn't be called like a representative. Because everybody thinks Superman is a part of the like governmental power until we get back to America and we find out, no, he's actually not. Everybody pretty much hates him. But like if we're saying like a government representative comes over from a different country, for sure.
But I really don't remember what my point was. I wish I could. I really don't, though, sadly.
I broke my mic stand. I have to fix it.
Damn.
The little screw came out. It's fine. It's like
Okay.
we got cheap mic stands, y'all.
Yeah.
We got cheap mic stands.
I'm crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to talk about? Anything else random?
Mm,
I genuinely think this is gonna be uncut. This one's gonna be uncut.
Is it weird that I thought Ireland was more up here?
No, a lot of people think Ireland's bigger.
I didn't think it was bigger. I just thought it was more north.
Yeah, that makes
Like,
sense.
I thought it was near
like,
Norway,
I always thought-
Sweden.
Yeah, I always thought it
Finland
was.
even
No, I did think it was more north. I just thought it was like
up here.
right in between Greenland, like
Oh,
right
over
above the
here?
United Kingdom, but right in
Yeah.
between Iceland and Norway, not Greenland.
Yeah, like here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the most normal like sit down episode we've ever done.
Yeah. This is kind of what we generally do when we're just chilling. Honestly, that's what this has turned into. It went from Superman reaction to
Cause okay, let's be
Here's
real,
that
guys. Let's be
concept
real,
again.
guys. If you guys haven't seen them for yourselves, then the things we are talking about aren't that exciting.
no.
They were
yeah, very
excited when we
true.
started. They were excited when we started talking about them in 2024. Okay, over
Mhm.
almost a year now.
Yep.
I think if I go back and check, it's over a year.
Probably.
But yeah, most of this stuff isn't like new for us. I think the most new thing would have been the Fantastic Four trailer, which we didn't react to 'cause it didn't look that good. And then Thunderbolts and Ironheart. And Ironheart is like,
Yeah.
oh, actually, 'cause I didn't tell you this, Ironheart didn't even get mentioned because it was made in 2022. And it's been on the shelf since 2022, waiting to be put out. Hold on, guys, 'cause this episode's not over. I think our real fans are still here.
Probably.
Let me read y'all the Ironheart description. Description. Oh my gosh, dude, I'm an idiot. I'm actually an idiot. Hold up. It doesn't say the part that I wanted it to say. The part that I wanted to show you, it's not saying. It's not saying it. Unless it is saying it, I'm just reading over it. Nah. It's not saying it. Basically, they pretty much flat out said this is woke. Just full on.
Damn.
They pretty much flat out said this is woke in the overview, in the description of what the show is supposed to be. It's basically saying that she has always looked up to Tony Stark and wants to make an iconic version of that, but she has to do it in a world in a place surrounded by men, specifically white men, while she is a black woman. And that is like the show in its entirety. That's what it's going to be about. She gets swooned by the Hood, who is Anthony Ramos, who is supposed to be like some good guy who does like semi-bad things, good things, but the Hood is basically the Void for Sentry. And yeah. It's basically just this entity that wants to take over and do bad things, and the more I'm still going to watch it. 'Cause I'm good at my job, or what lacks to be thereof. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna be good. It doesn't sound like it's gonna be good, and my worst part, the worst part of the whole film, trailer, whatever we want to call it, is the fact that the final suit up they show in the trailer is her running in a straight line, jumping up, and when it like surrounds her body, it looks gross. And then she hits the ground, turns around, makes a car flip over her head, and the car turns to CGI like real fast. and it's very noticeable. So yeah. Also, Anthony Ramos does not look good as the Hood. Also, the little design they do on his back as the like veiny thing of the Hood taking over does not look good, and we only saw a few seconds of it. I think Anthony Ramos's voice is not creepy enough to play a character that is supposed to be creepy.
Is the Hood supposed to be from like Rome era?
I think the Hood is the person who gets taken over is from whatever.
No, yeah.
But yeah,
like
I think
the Hood itself.
He's supposed to be.
Because
The Hood itself is supposed to be.
this is the Knights Templar symbol, and that's when they were formed.
But yeah, I think I got all my things off from Ironheart.
Just so people know.
Go
what
to
I'm
a different one
talking
because he looks way different.
about. Oh no, yeah. I'm just saying.
He looks way different.
I'm just
in
saying,
what they're
like,
showing.
this cross that they have on his chest is a Knights Templar cross.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, 'cause it's all saying Batman.
wait. Yeah, it went to Azrael. I was about to say.
Go to the one up top.
Where?
Either of them. Because I think Ghost Rider has the hood on, which is what most people look like in it. But yeah, that's the Hood. That's what he's supposed to look like. He looks kind of cool. Most of the pictures I've seen with Anthony Ramos not in it look really good. The
This
Hood looks good
looks-
itself.
This looks like an Assassin's Creed character.
It is. Connor Kinway.
It is Connor.
Yeah, it's one.
Assassin's
I
Creed
will say it's
4.
probably the dumbest name I've ever heard from Marvel.
The Hood.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
like in terms,
especially when you have a more popular
you have a more popular Red Hood, which has
Red
something
Hood
before it.
character,
Most people who are in hoods get called something the Hood, like
right?
that.
Like
Arrow.
Arrow is the closest. Season 1 Arrow.
Did they call him something in the Hood?
No, it's just the Hood.
Oh, then yeah.
Season 1 Arrow.
There you go.
That's his name.
There you go.
This Loki is clean.
That is very cool.
I now want this to be a. They should have had this be Jason Todd's Red Hood outfit in Titans. That would have looked better.
I still think the actor is way too small. No matter what, I think the actor needs to bulk up. I don't think the.
But I think that suit would have looked
anything
better
they
because the
did.
suit doesn't look as bulky. So
yeah,
it
yeah,
won't be as prominent that he needs to bulk up.
yeah. Let me see what Marvel is talking about when it comes to the Hood before we clock out for the day.
Yep.
The Hood, Parker Robbins is going to be his name. Is a supervillain appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Created by writer Brian K. Vaughan. I'm just going to call him Vaughn. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And artists Kyle Hotz and Eric Powell. The character was introduced in his own self-titled limited series. Ooh, so that means he might be underdeveloped. Guys, we don't like it when certain villains get their own comic books as their introduction. Although not as well known as other Marvel villains, he was one of the Avengers' foes in the early 2000s. Okay, so there's a reason they didn't use this.
Yeah.
And they're using it for Ironheart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge reason. He has access to dual Hydra and AIM technologies. As in both of them. He has access to both Hydra and AIM technologies. Some of these things just say things weird. His Hood abilities: Infinity Gems, Criminal Mastermind, Marksman, formerly Reality Manipulation using the Norn Stones, Magical Cloak and Boots for invisibility and airwalking, Demon Transformation.
Okay, hang on. I just need to show how this is set up so that way I can explain something real quick. You can't have it cloak and right next to each other and just leave it like that. No, not after Rivals. This cannot be how.
You can.
No.
You can.
Right after Dagger. Yeah. Every time. Either you need to have Boots here or move the and down. One of the two. But you can't have Cloak and next to each other, in my opinion.
You can.
Cloak and Dagger.
There's so many things that use cloaks.
Yeah, but how many things would you say Cloak and?
A decent amount.
I don't think so.
Cloak and turned away from the mirror and started walking. You could add anything to the end.
Yeah,
of the
but I mean, just like because how this ends it. If Boots was here,
yeah,
I'd be fine with it.
you'd be able to read it a little bit faster. But I mean,
just leaving out his cloak and at the end of that line.
yeah.
Like,
The hood is mainly Dormammu. That's like the
Okay.
main. That's like the main thing with the hood. Dormammu.
Really?
Yeah, Dormammu empowered the hood with enough magic. Go down, 'cause I was just reading it.
my
Dormammu empowered the hood with enough magic to find and kill Doctor Strange, so that Parker could become the new Sorcerer Supreme. He uses these gifts and his own streetwise mentality, the hood, as Robin's would become known and quickly became a force to be reckoned with in Marvel criminal underworld.
Marvel knew what they were doing. Either Marvel or DC knew exactly what they were doing.
For what?
The Hood, Robins.
Oh, yeah.
Someone knew exactly what they were doing. No doubt. I don't know if Jason Todd died and... well, okay, if we're being fair, Red Hood was technically in the DC Comics before Jason
Oh, you're
Todd
saying
died.
that. You're not saying Robin Hood.
No.
I'm thinking Robin Hood.
No.
That makes more sense.
Red Hood
That makes way more
was
sense.
Robin and fought
Yeah,
with
but
Robin.
no. That's too many
And then,
context clues
and
that
then
make
you
up
also
this
have
one
Robin
thing.
Hood.
No. I think it would make way more sense that they got the Hood and Parker Robbins from Robin Hood than anything else. This really does feel like an underdeveloped character,
Yeah.
even from what we know from the comics so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hood #1 is his first showing, and it's 2002, so probably
We'll say.
underdeveloped.
This art looks clean.
The art on the one with it like surrounding him is more accurate to what he would be.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But both these shows
They are
look
super
clean.
clean. Yeah. When is the Hood? Okay, that's gonna end it. That's gonna end it. It pulled up a food spot. Wait. It was not until the superhero civil war that Robbins was able to truly put these abilities to work for him. Assembling a massive criminal empire, the Hood was largely successful in running a gang of blank. In a gang of supervillains, and slowly became addicted to the power and respect. When his abilities began to fail him, he turned to other sources of dogs like Dormammu and Norn Stones to give him great power. So this dude's just we're getting two like cracked out supervillains in the Void and the Hood now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to say the leader, then you can kind of use him too. But
True.
I don't know. He was just annoyed.
No. But I think after yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that. We both know the most cracked out villain in anything.
Joker.
But I mean, there's also thank you.
No.
Bro is literally cracked out though.
Yeah, but
Like he
No.
is literally
he doesn't do anything really. He just gets information and then gets beat up the rest of the movie.
no. He murks like 10 people in this,
In this one moment, yeah, and then that's it.
and then we never see him again.
He gets beat up the rest of the movie. His head gets cut off and then starts flying around most areas.
No, that's someone else. That's not this guy. This
Yeah, it is. So his head gets cut off. Robots, guys. We're talking about robots. It's not real. Talking about robots. Nobody's head actually gets cut off. Not in this scene. He gets attacked later.
No, yeah, no, I'm just.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say this is like one of the most cracked out villains.
The way he acts.
Yeah, the way he acts is definitely cracked out, but he's barely a villain.
True. But because of how he acts, I'd argue he is.
The most?
One of. Like, this man, he is twitching every scene he is twitching.
Yeah.
Constantly screaming if we have the audio playing.
Yeah, we have the audio
This is the
playing,
most.
The calmest he is when he
Yeah.
uses the radio. Yeah. I just don't think it's the most, though. We're talking about like, if we want to be real, Suicide Jared Leto Joker shocks himself in front of what's her face before she turns into Harley Quinn. Dr. Quinn.
Yeah. But
Like, that's pretty cracked out.
I would argue, out of any Joker,
It's definitely Heath Ledger's
Yeah.
is the most, because he literally stabs somebody with a pencil as a demonstration as to why you shouldn't mess with him, and he makes it a joke, like a disappearing magic trick. You don't got to show nobody this one. We all remember that one.
no, I'm not showing him that scene. I'm showing him another one that we all should remember, but
Where he
so-
blows up the hospital?
It's so iconic. It has to be shown. It has to be. Oh wait, nope, no free product placement. Fuck you.
I'm not actually a big fan of the scene.
You aren't.
No, only because they kept in the improv of the bombs not going off, because they only had one thing.
I actually like the scene because of that.
Most people do. That's the main reason I don't. 'Cause it's like, if it was the Joker doing it, like actually the Joker doing it, and it was supposed to be like a big joke that he did, it'd be funnier to me. Or it'd be like something that makes more sense. Now that I see it in this, the part that makes it good is the fact that Heath Ledger kept acting
Yeah.
and didn't like stop acting.
No, he's all like, wait,
Yeah.
like what? That's what. Hello?
Yeah, it's not
And
as
then the shock, like.
it's
like, oh,
not
wait,
as
that
iconic
actually-
as most people say it is.
Yeah. But it just.
It's dope.
Yeah.
It's dope. I'm not gonna lie, after watching that, he's probably not the most cracked out. He's not the most cracked out. Also, that's probably the dumbest scene.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many memes I've seen where it's like, how did you not know this was the Joker? Apparently Peter, I was about to say, it's not Quill. What's his fucking name? Peter Griffin.
Uh-huh.
Apparently he's rich.
Huh.
Yeah. Maybe it's him. Maybe it's that Joker who's the
It
most
might
cracked
be.
out.
It might be.
'Cause I really can't think of anybody who's more cracked out than the Joker.
Yeah.
And then I can't think of a Joker who's more cracked out than one of the on-screen Jokers. I want to say Jared Leto is the most. He has the most physical touch with people for no reason.
Yeah.
He's the most, like, he literally freaks out on somebody after he says Harley Quinn looks good. He says Harley Quinn looks good. His friend agrees, and then he points a gun at his friend's head.
Yeah, true.
Like, if this doesn't say cracked out, I don't know. I don't know what it really does.
True. But I mean, 'cause I'm also now thinking of the Arkham games, and I'm like,
The Arkham games are good.
yeah, because
No,
there's
no. The Flash. The Flash is the most cracked out. The Flash in the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, most cracked out. He gets shot at, disappears, everybody freaks out, and then he pops up behind the guy and he was like, "You really thought I wasn't gonna? You thought that was gonna hit me? All right, you're funny. You're funny. You thought that was gonna hit me? All right, you're funny. It's got to be him. I feel like the Flash, no matter what, if he turns into a villain, he's the most cracked out.
Reverse Flash.
No. The Flash. If he becomes a villain, he's the most cracked out at that point.
Mm.
It's definitely a DC villain, though.
Yeah. I feel like Arkham Knight.
No, Claw. Claw is the most cracked out live screen we've ever seen anybody.
Claw.
Cuttlefish. Arm. Black Panther. Claw.
Ah.
Ulysses Claw.
Yeah. I see that.
He's probably the most cracked out. He finds joy in everything he's doing. When he gets scared, he makes a joke out of it. I think while he's locked up is when he makes the cuttlefish joke, 'cause he's saying he's scared of cuttlefish.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't remember that entire scene, but it could be him. His arm gets cut off and he barely freaks out. He screams,
Yeah.
but like, your arm just got cut off, my guy. I think a scream is the smallest part you can do. Or do you think a superhero would be cracked out before a villain?
Okay, if we're bringing superheroes in this, we just need to state that the Flash is the most cracked out person in anything ever.
I think only when he's mad, though. 'Cause he has to keep himself controlled the most, or else he would literally be speeding around everywhere, no matter what, at all times.
True,
At all
true.
times. So technically, every muscle in his body is so controlled that we can keep up up with him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's the most cracked out when he's calm.
True.
Maybe Batman.
I was thinking that too. I'm like,
It might be Batman.
It might be Batman.
That man might be taking some lines, shooting some shots.
But Arkham Knight, not Arkham Knight, the Arkham series Joker. There's literally a whole thing in I think Arkham City where he has like a
It's like laugh gas almost.
yeah, but there's something else. I think like he's addicted to something or he needs to keep taking a drug so that way he doesn't die before they're able to figure out the cure for his sickness.
Isn't it his laugh gas?
It might be.
That he has to. I feel like no. I think I'm thinking of Bane. Bane has to keep taking his venom,
Yeah, I think so.
or else he'll basically pass out and die from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause remember we were watching the death battle,
Yeah.
where it was like if he gets too much, but if he stops taking it, it'll kill him.
What about
It-
you know what?
It might be Bane. Bane literally takes drugs actively, and if he doesn't, he dies.
Two-Face.
Is it Two-Face? Why though?
I'm gonna be completely honest.
He's like the most criminal lord of them all. Him and Penguin.
Yeah, but I'm gonna. Okay.
Peng-
Gotham? No.
No way
Actually,
Penguin
no,
does
that-
his own.
No. Actually, that's a great call out there. Gotham Penguin.
Gotham Penguin? No way Penguin's doing. He's too much of a businessman to do his own drug.
No. But I'm saying, as far as a cracked out villain goes, Gotham Penguin.
You think him?
Yeah.
You think he's getting it
because
from somebody else?
Maybe because this man,
If there's anybody selling anything in Gotham, it's him for sure.
100%. But like in Gotham, first episode,
Yeah.
right off the bat when we meet him, there's a guy getting beat up by Fish Mooney outside with a baseball bat.
Mhm.
And then she gives it to Butch, and then Butch allows Penguin to hit him with the bat,
Mhm.
and then he starts laughing while hitting him. And then
But Penguin
there's
just likes
also-
pain. He just likes giving people pain.
yeah, but they're like
I guess he probably would be cracked out.
he's like very
He lives in the
he's very
sewers.
twitchy in like he looks very twitchy in that.
Doesn't he live in the
series.
sewers?
No,
Doesn't he have like a mansion
not
in the sewers?
typically. He sometimes, but generally it's he lives in an
Actual like big house.
yeah. Because in Gotham, his mom is like hella old, but she had to flee from where she was from because she was a maid for this.
Bad people.
I don't think it was bad people. It was just
Bad enough to have a maid.
that's crazy. But
I think anybody who has a maid is kind of bad. What do you have a maid for? Is the first question. Yeah, but like what?
I mean, just cleaning your house.
But like what? Like if your house is clean enough to where you don't need a maid, why? Why you got a maid, bro?
Yeah, but like generally the house is clean enough that you don't need a maid because you have a maid.
True.
So, like, I guarantee you, 98% of rich people, if they didn't have a maid, their house would be filthy.
I guarantee if they didn't have a maid, they wouldn't go through most of the areas in their house, so they didn't have to clean it up, or they would just get a smaller house. We are blaming maids for rich people getting millions and millions so that they can buy nice houses. It's the maids' faults. That's why.
No idea how long that was going on for.
I don't know, because my thing was. Yeah.
But like, I see maids as like
A menace to
essentially-
society.
Damn. I see maids as essentially the female version of butlers.
Maids? Well, I mean, they are.
Yeah, but I mean, in a sense, because every time I've heard of a butler, it's always
It's always like assistants. It's
Well-
more of like an assistant than a butler, really.
Well, it's both assistant and bodyguard, which is what
Yeah.
makes a butler in everything that we see butlers at least. Film wise, right? I'm not
I
saying
think the only
that's
thing that-
actually how butlers
The
are.
only thing I've ever seen a butler correctly portrayed is Annie. That nigga is literally just a butler. He's
Yeah.
not there to protect people crazy
Yeah.
like that. I mean, he protects people, but they have security guards also.
True.
Batman's the reason why. Batman ruined most people's views
100%.
of butlers.
10,000%.
Batman was supposed to be a father figure. People think butlers are like that.
Yeah.
That's what they think butlers are now.
I'm gonna be for real. Whenever I walk into a tailor shop, which I've never, by the way, I want to make that completely clear.
They're actually like exactly how people think.
Okay, good.
They literally feel like if I
Good.
pressed like a wall or something, I
Good.
just keep walking and go through something else.
Good, because I want to go into a tailor shop someday.
I think
And
there's
the
one.
second I walk in, I want to feel like I'm in the Kingsman.
I think there's a tailor shop that turns into a speakeasy.
I want the Kingsman. They already did, if I'm being for real. But I want the Kingsman to just completely ruin how tailor shops are viewed. For me personally, at
Ruin
least.
them?
Not ruin, but like
I was going to say that wouldn't ruin it.
no.
I would
but
make it even
like-
better if that was true.
Yeah, but because it's not true, that's what ruins them.
I don't know about that. They're pretty fascinating. Like a lot of the times it will be like there's a second room that like you go into, but it's normally just a lot of fabric, a lot of nice
Yeah.
fabric, and you can kind of touch most of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. They're not as stuck up as like the shows
Mm.
make it seem. That's the only thing I would have to really say. And then a lot of them are women. Which
Makes sense.
also makes sense because I'm not like you're not getting fully unclothed.
Yeah.
And I guess I did. Now that I think about it, I did kind of think it was like, why do men tailor men? You know?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't a woman be a better tailor for a man because they would have like the better idea of what
True.
to point out, right?
True.
I feel like this is a little sexist, but I feel like women should dress men and men should dress women, and then we'd have no problems in this world.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I take it that far, but we'd have a lot less people questioning their looks or questioning how they are dressing to fit their looks.
They'd be, nah, 'cause now there's a thing coming out that studs are dressing like, or that men are dressing like studs.
Isn't the whole thing that studs are dressing? Society is confusing me with all these words.
Both me and Madden are dressed like studs right now.
Facts.
I could take I'm not gonna say that. I'm taking.
I don't even know what he was gonna say. I don't know what the rest of that was gonna be.
I was gonna say
so-
I was gonna say I could take your bitch, but I'm
Mm.
taking, and I don't want anybody's other than my beautiful girls. So, yeah. That sounds like I have kids. I don't have kids. I don't have plural. Okay, I have one singular woman, not child. Woman. Okay. I'm making this worse.
either you're making it worse or you're saving yourself, but I can't tell which.
I feel like she would rather me say, no, I'm not gonna say that either.
You're not gonna say because you've already said everything else.
Yeah,
If you
no,
did it-
because that would just put her in a bad light. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because
Okay.
it's probably not true. She'd probably want me to jump off a bridge before I did either of those things.
Damn.
Yeah. This one definitely is a rant.
Yeah, no, we're just bouncing around. This is one of us just vibing out talking.
Yeah. I feel like we need to do more of those though.
I do too.
There's not enough. You know what it is? It's because we don't have a third on the podcast.
Facts.
So, like, we're talking on the way on. We're talking on the way into
True.
the studio.
True.
We talk about most of the talking points like halfway before we get into the studio, and then we finish talking about them in the studio on the set, talking to y'all, and then we just go into everything else we've been like seeing and thinking about
Yeah.
recently.
So, concerning things
Concerning things about concerns.
that I have seen.
Okay.
So, there's 2 videos
Yep.
that got put into my recommendations,
Okay.
or that popped up in my notifications, I mean, on YouTube. One is by Flats, and one is by Gert. For anyone who doesn't know,
Oh, I
Flats
saw this.
Flats is a rival and a Overwatch YouTuber,
Yep.
and Gert is an Apex YouTuber.
I think there's a bit of an overreaction.
I haven't watched either yet
Okay.
because of how
We'll watch them
perfectly
after we
this
turn
is.
this off. We'll watch them after we
I
turn this
have
off.
by Gert, this is bad,
Yeah.
talking about Apex, and then
Flats.
Flats too.
Yeah.
This is a big mistake, talking about
Rivals.
Rivals.
Yeah. Do you want me to
So-
talk about the rivals thing?
Sure, I don't know what he's talking about. So.
He'll go into more detail.
yeah,
about it.
Well, we'll watch on.
A lot of these videos on. I like Flats and watching Flats' stuff,
Yeah.
but I feel like his stuff is a little bit long. Man, I'm saying this as we make a
As-
3-hour
as-
fucking podcast episode.
Yeah.
I
For
feel
the,
like
third time this week.
yeah, in the span of 7 days, we've made over 10 hours of.
In the
Podcasts.
span of 2 weeks, we've made over a day's worth of podcasts.
I wouldn't say over a day.
'Cause we have the 7 or 8 hour one.
6. Yeah.
Then we have the 2 hour and a half one that we did shortly after that, and then we have
Nope. That's combined. 6 hours was combined. We did a 3-hour episode that was a solo. Then we did a 3-hour reaction episode that was 3 different reactions in the same episode. So I cut
Right,
those
right.
up. But that was the
Um,
6 hours. Then we did a 5-hour John Walker breakdown.
And we also have the 3 hours for the trivia.
Trivia we have to redo, sadly,
Yeah,
because of the audio.
sadly.
But yeah, it would
still.
be 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3
for
hours.
trivia plus
And
this.
then we're now on this, so
Yeah, and then
pretty close to a day.
okay,
pretty
actually no.
close.
We've had over a day. We've had with all the little the Calvin versus the Worlds with all
True,
those
that's true,
intertwined, and
That's-
then
yeah,
we've had
I didn't
over
think about that.
probably a week's worth of normal content for us come out within this week.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna try to keep it up. We have another reaction episode coming out Friday, and then
Hopefully, all this footage will be enough backed up to get us through the next.
it will
couple
be
weeks.
yep. Our special guest will be announced.
Plus that.
I'll announce it tomorrow.
Okay.
But from the day you guys are seeing this, I'm announcing this tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow. Your guys is tomorrow, not our tomorrow. Our tomorrow is Friday.
Yes.
Our tomorrow is Friday, which the reaction episode you guys are watching, and this episode that's coming out before the reaction episode, probably very, very early in the morning for all of you I don't even know. Stoners probably. I think
For
stoners
all of you.
I think
high
stoners get up super up in the morning.
gamers. Yep, that's English right there.
Yeah, I think they get up super early. But yeah. All of this stuff will be coming out.
Yeah.
Special guest announcement. W review is coming soon.
Good shit. Actually,
I don't know if we
that-
have any more like.
the
We don't really have any more skits really right now.
Yeah, the W review probably won't be happening for a few weeks. Actually,
Yeah.
probably at least 3 weeks from when y'all view this, if not more, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks, and then when I get back, I don't know if you're gonna already have the stuff or if you're gonna.
Maybe
still
it
need to
depends on when they
order it.
ship it.
Yeah.
There is big announcement we want to do. Biggest announcement we're gonna do. 'Kay. COD.
Yep.
I think we have time tomorrow, Friday, for you guys. We might hop on stream and do our first test run
Okay.
to see if everything works.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're gonna be doing a marathon of COD. Okay, there's
Yep.
going to be 3 parts of us testing it on live, and then one night randomly. Be ready. We're gonna announce it. It's going to be a marathon. No turning off the stream until we finish level 100 on COD Zombies.
I thought it was 999. I thought we were going
No.
Okay.
Because that would literally be like, we need to be doing this shit full time.
Yeah.
I'll do that. When we hit a mil,
I was seeing the same thing.
a mil on this channel.
I-
It doesn't matter it doesn't matter any other channel. If we hit a mil on this channel, we'll do 999
I know.
plus.
I know what we do. Okay. Every 100K, we add 100 rounds.
Every 100K.
So at 100K, we'll go to 200. 200K, we'll go 3, 4, 5, 6, until
every
million.
the first 100K we get, we'll do 250. We'll add 150. The very first 1K we hit.
The first 1K?
Yeah,
Okay.
not 100. When we hit 100, we'll add 100.
Okay.
When we hit 1,000, we'll add 150. So everything will be basically 150, but
Okay.
everything after 250 will be 100
Okay.
Each
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
each time
Until
till we
the
hit
time that
999.
we are.
I think we can get all the way up to like 4,000, 5,000 rounds. That's like the highest round
Oh,
hit.
okay.
Actually, no. I'll do all my research to make sure
Yeah.
we pick the right map
Yeah.
to continue going. If we don't, then every 100,000 subs will beat a map.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
enough
yeah.
maps in COD to do that,
Yeah.
and some of them do go way past 3,000 and stuff like that.
True.
So
And we could also, if we run out of maps, just back up.
let's back up. But yeah,
We
um,
or go forward, depending
and then
on how
of
you want
course
to look at it.
there will be some. Like once that starts happening, it won't be a marathon as much.
True.
It'll be parts.
True.
You know, part
Yeah.
1, part 2, part stuff like that. But yeah,
For now.
we're setting it up to do testing rounds. Hopefully we get the first one in before he leaves. But we're setting up to do testing rounds, and then pretty much everything's already done. We just need to do it. So yeah.
Any idea when that's supposed to come out?
What?
Iron Lung?
No. I don't pay attention to him.
I just saw that.
This is the burner account.
Mm.
So this is like, I don't know how long I've had this account.
That's crazy. YouTube's lying to me.
How so?
It's saying that he's live right now, but it's streamed 5 minutes ago. Liars.
You gotta refresh the page.
Liars.
Nope.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, no, I saw that he was live and I was like, oh, huh, curious.
I think that's it though.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think that's everything. Everything, all the rants, all the little itty bitty stuff we have to say. I think that's all of it.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything.
Mater is the best car.
Facts. Just straight up.
If you guys
facts.
have an argument with that, watch Cars 2, and then watch Finn McMissile. Literally, just like
toyed with,
yeah,
like
like
hardcore.
nobody does it better than
toyed
Mater.
with.
I've heard
No.
so many takes on Finn McMissile that I'm just like, no, disagree.
Mhm.
It's Mater all the way.
Yeah.
Mater all the way. I think I was a Lightning McQueen kid too.
I know
Nah.
that.
Nah, it's literally just 'cause of the I am speed.
Yeah.
It was just the motivational speech he has first. It takes over you, and you just are just encapsulated by. This is working right now. You're just encapsulated by the full essence of Cars, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's just kind of rude.
And
Okay.
then you get to the second movie, and it's just like Mater, bro.
Actually,
It's
Eh,
just like now I
the
understand why
first
Cars is
movie-
good.
the first movie focuses on Lightning McQueen. The second movie focuses on Mater.
Second movie has nothing to do with any other movie.
Facts.
And then there's no fourth movie, right?
No, there's
Thankfully.
only 3
Thankfully, there's only 3. And what they should have done,
type shit.
is they should have taken 3 and put it into 2, and had it be
Part 1, Part 2.
no.
Oh.
They should have had his. They should have had Lightning McQueen's mentor trying to kill him. That's what I feel. I feel like there were so many kids movies that we watched where like the actual outcome was death, and then we got to like Cars and stuff, and the outcome was not death.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Do we not remember Hunchback of Notre Dame? That's probably the darkest movie we ever watched as a kid.
Facts.
You know how dark that thing was? That he was talking about lust.
Yeah.
Not just lust. I'm not going to say the word that he
No.
was talking about, but he was talking about it, y'all.
Yeah.
And most of us sang about it.
yeah.
Like fire. That
It
wasn't
is
that's
fire.
Come on, guys. He says he's talking about lust, but he's talking about something else. He's talking about something else. Come on, y'all. Let's be real. We watched some dark movies as kids.
Yeah, no, we did. Like, probably my favorite movie I watched as a kid, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Emperor's New Groove.
I know you did not just say Emperor's New Groove is dark.
No, I didn't. I said it's probably my favorite.
I thought you were gonna say like a movie that was dark. That's why you were adding it to the
No, no.
context.
It's a kids movie that we watched when we were kids. So it's just
It's definitely one of the top tens.
I'm disappointed Disney never, or at least hasn't released a ride for Emperor's New Groove. In particularly the slide.
Aren't they?
I don't think so.
I thought they had something in the works.
If they do, it's the first time I'm hearing of it.
I swear they had something in the works. Yeah. On August 30th, 2025. Bro, I stay tapped in on things I don't even care about. Full scale.
Okay.
Kuzcopia.
If they do it right, I will be
Kuzcotopia. I forgot he wasn't unique with his name.
Yeah, no. If they do it right, I'm okay with this.
It's supposed to be a 1-to-1. Like the thing that was going to be placed on top of the hill,
yeah.
it's basically just going to be placed at Disneyland.
Okay.
Which they've been doing pretty good. The one I heard people had a problem with was Tiana's
Mhm.
Bayou because I think people had racial problems with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's
Interesting.
the Bayou, and I don't. Hold on. Before we go, I've said this a few times.
We've both said that a few times.
I spelled that wrong.
All good.
Including technical difficulties that have led to guests being evacuated and boarding groups being canceled. So I guess it was just flickering lights, broken screens, glitching audio animatronics. The grand
So-
finale animatronic of Princess Tiana has been non-functional for over a month. Damn. With reports indicating that the animatronic has been in a frozen state at least since at least December 13th of 2024.
So, essentially, everyone's problem with it is that
It's not doing anything.
Disney.
The racial comments
a
were probably
Disney
just
ride.
it was the racial comments were probably just stupid
Yeah,
comments that
but
were the only ones I saw.
from what that said, people's problem with it is that it's a Disney ride. I
But-
genuinely can't think of a single ride that hasn't been the case on. Hell, I went on the
Opening?
Jurassic Park. Yes, opening or later in its life doesn't really matter.
Yeah, actually.
Because every ride, opening especially, has a lot of technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Like any ride, it
But
doesn't matter.
closed for over a month. Without like real construction happening.
That's just Disney being slow.
That's probably just Disney being slow.
Like honestly, like for example, Universal, like it doesn't even have to be Disney. It could be literally any theme
Any
park. That's
theme park.
just a theme park that uses animatronics. That's the case for.
Which they're doing the walking floor soon. You remember that the infinity floor? Did I ever show you that?
I don't think so.
They basically made a new invention where the floor moves. It's a treadmill, but it's got all these little things on it.
I know what you're talking about.
They finished
it's
making that.
essentially a omnidirectional treadmill, but more.
That's what it
advanced.
is. Exactly what it is. I just couldn't think of the omnidirectional part.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Thank you, Attack on Titan, because it's literally their gear is called omnidirectional mobility gear.
Anime, y'all need to chill some of these names, bro. That's a tongue
ODM.
twister. That's a tongue
They
twister.
just call it ODM.
Isn't there something else called ODM?
Probably. But
I really hope this isn't bad.
I know that
Original design manufacturing.
Yeah.
Thank God that wasn't bad. That could have been horrible. That could have been horrible. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Attack on Titan. It's omnidirectional mobility, ODM gear.
ODM gear, buy one.